Hello there folks, welcome back to RRTV. My name's Bernie Weemers and I'm joined here in the commentary box with by Brant Tucker. How you going, Brant?
Hey Bernie, nice of you to actually remember me. I'm pretty good. After a little break, I'm ready and raring to go, so should be a good crack of the second half of the race.
It certainly should be, and just to the first part, what we'll do, folks, is bring you all up to speed of what's been happening in the last 2 hours since we went off air for our tea break. There was one safety car that came out probably about an hour and a half ago now, and that was to do with the, we think it was the 337 Tryhards Racing Rough, got stranded out on the track with a lot of damage, and it was unsafe for it to return to the pit. So that brought out a safety car, and that's the only safety car they've had in the last 2 hours. So looking at our results at the moment, I'm going to take you through the whole field so you know where your favourite driver stands. Daco Motorsport at the moment is leading the way on, that's a 147 Daco Motorsport. They've been leading most of the race. Redback Racing HPD, they are now up into second position and a 1 minute 24 seconds behind. Daco, so they've got their lap back. The 145 Daco Motorsports is in third, and that's 1 minute 29 seconds down. Fourth, JFF Racing GT Amiga. Fifth, Nutters Motorsport Orange. They're 1 lap down, and their sister car, the Nutters Motorsport Green, is 2 laps down and in sixth. Multi 21 Sim Racing is in 7th, 8th G&T Racing, 9th Blue Ox Racing, 10th is Team VPR. First in Class B, SDC Motorsports is leading the way, followed by Synergy Sim Racing, the 230 car. TD Racing is third in class, that's the 217. One Performance Racing, fourth in class, and then the 227 TD Racing is fifth in class, followed by Blackadder Motorsport. Class C at the moment, we have Selby Racing Team leading the way, followed by ANZ Motorsports. Then in third in Class C is the first of the BMWs, Blackadder Motorsport. Then we have Laser Racing in fourth in Class C. 21st outright Oceanic Sim Racing, or 5th in Class C. 22nd Tryhards Racing 4. Redback Racing BMW is in 23rd position and approximately 7th or 8th in class. Pagnian Racing IRFF number 317's 24th. 25th Blackadder Motorsport BMW. 26th Pagnian IRFF Racing. 27th LMN Touring International, followed by OSRDP B-Class car in 28th. Tryhards Racing 2 is the 337 29th. I'm just having a look. They appear to still be circulating. And then 30th is the 368 Blackadder Motorsport. 31st Tryhards Racing 3, and just before we came on air, they did have coming together with the third place car, the 145 HPD, but they both continued on. 32nd Tryhards Racing 1, the Rough. Then we have Synergy Sim Racing 2 in 33rd. Then our only DNF at the moment is the Tryhards Racing 5 Rough, and they had some sort of technical problem with repairing that car and had to retire. So that's an update of all our drivers throughout the field, Brent.
Yeah, no, it certainly seems as though the boys kept pretty clean over the couple hours while we were gone, with only that one safety car, so that's good to see they've learned from past races, i.e. Bathurst. But, you know, it's looking like 147 certainly has this under wraps at the moment, with the battle for second and third hotting up big time with only 5 seconds between the 118 and 145 car.
Yeah, and I think that's because the 145 has had a pit stop since we came on air. The 118 hasn't, so I think it's looking a lot closer than it actually is, and once pit strategy comes into play, we'll see that 118 drop back down into third position.
Yeah, it's always a tricky time to tell during pit stops where the field actually is in terms of overall positions. Only once when pit stops are cleaned and done, that's when we'll get a really relative idea of where everyone is.
That's exactly right, and we've got a few other screens up tonight now that I've got my act together, and one is a JRT server. We got that running, and that we have to thank Nathan Herpatz for reminding us to get that going. According to this, we've run now for 2 hours 31 minutes, and we have 91.7 laps remaining at this stage. The fastest lap time in Class A was 1 minute 38.693. And then if we have a look at our trap map, you can actually see where P1 is. He's just coming up through Lesmo now, and that's going to help us find where the safety cars come out as this race progresses tonight. But settle in, folks, we're in for the long haul now. We're going to be going for the next 3 hours, and we'll bring you the next 2.5 hours of it live, the race, and then post-race interviews after that. So grab your beer or whatever else you drink and settle in for hopefully a great night of racing. Looks like we've also got Luke Hamilton joining us in the commentary. So Luke, did you have a nice break, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, Bernie. A few chops on the Weber and some chips, and it's all good. So now on a full stomach, ready to go.
Fantastic, and it's since we were live before, and we can just see our race leader, Kurt Stenberg, now coming into the pit. So we joined just as pit strategy is starting to play out. But he's got an 85-second lead, so I can't see these guys losing that lead.
Nah, they've gone hell for leather. They've just kept it clean, kept it consistent. So I can't imagine they'd lose this lead. The only thing that'll happen is it'll tighten up by 30, 40 seconds, but they'll still have that pretty much that equal gap when they come back out onto the track. So if 147 keeps going the way it's going, it's looking like a pretty promising finish for them. But as I said before, 118 and 145 is still going to be going at it hard for positions 2 and 3 on the podium.
Yeah, that's right. And looking at the Redback team in second, they're just coming down into Ascari now. So they've got a good half-lap lead as Dayco's leaving now. Kurt Stenberg stayed in that car. The stop was 33.5 seconds, and so far, folks, they've done 189 laps around Monza today. This car that you're viewing, Class A leader, they've led for 185 laps. So that's a pretty dominant performance, isn't it, guys?
Yeah, they're very, very commanding by the 147 guys at the moment. So they've definitely been the class act of the HPD so far.
Oh, they've been absolutely dominant out there again, and you can just see when these guys get their rhythm, they're pretty much unstoppable, aren't they? Yeah,
Dayco really is a very tight outfit, especially when it comes to endurance racing. And we now see the Redback Racing 118 car pull into pit lane, so he'll now drop back down to third behind on the second Dayco.
Yeah, and they've dropped down, so Aaron Lee's out, Warren Pickering's in. This is the first time we've seen Warren in the race today, and he'll be taking that Redback Racing car out very shortly, but they've got to be careful here that they don't go down a lap. So the leader's coming through Ascari now. He's caught up behind the 332, who gets well out of his way, and the Redback guys are just coming out now, so they're only probably about half a lap in front of the leader at this point.
Yeah, they'll have to pray that they don't get held up too much in order to try and extend that gap, but it's certainly looking like the 147's got this wrapped up with lapping nearly the entire field. Nearly, only half a lap to go until they lap the Redback Racing HPD, so if they can do that, then it's a very, very dominant performance on their behalf.
Oh, for sure. And the Class B leader, the Synergy Sim Racing, that car still has Wayne Burke in it. Surely he hasn't been driving for the last 2 hours, because he was in that car when we left, I think. they've just done a stop, and that was 25.1 seconds, and they've come just out in front of our leader, Kurt Stenberg, in the 147 Daco.
Yeah, Synergy again, the end of class, the Daytona prototypes at the moment. SDC is one behind them. It is behind them on their same lap, and then you've got One Performance sitting in P3, a lap behind them. So, bit of a hard break for the One Performance Racing guys. Safety cars just didn't come at the right time for them, so they got a lap down, unfortunate. But I know that Josh is in there at the moment, so he's definitely going to be fighting hard to try and catch up the Schreier and get that lap back. But it's going to be going to be a hard mission from here on out for those boys.
Yeah, and again, this car's pretty much dominated Class B, hasn't it? And as you said, they're one lap above, ahead of their closest rival, and that's Josh Rogers for One Performance Racing. But they, in turn, have one lap up on third place, a 217, with Colin Schweck behind the wheel of that car at the moment. So Class B is well and truly spread out at this stage.
Yeah, that's it. What the One Performance boys really need is to get ahead of, get ahead of the two other Daytona prototypes again, and then for a safety car to come. But that we're talking extreme amounts of luck there, and unfortunately we know that's not always the way it works in this game. So they'll just have to truck along and see what they can do.
Yeah, that's right. And I don't think, going by the amount of safety cars we have had, I think we have had only two this race. I think it's two, maybe three, but I can't imagine it coming out many more times tonight. We might get another one in, going on past performance of this race.
Yeah, I can't see too many more safety cars coming out. There's Josh has a slide coming out of the Scary, but yeah, I can't imagine too many more coming out, to be brutally honest. It's starting to get early on, starting to really get on in the race, and everyone's split up. You've only got the 2 or 3 battles for the same position, so there's not too many people making too many silly moves at this point in time.
Yeah, and looking down at Class C, that's also spread out a fair ways. Selby Racing Team, Nathan Hapatz is behind the wheel of that car, the 314 off. They've got a 1 minute 20 second lead at the moment over ANZ Motorsports, with Justin Ruggier in the car at the moment. So that lead has definitely stretched since we were here just over 2 hours ago.
Yeah, the Selby guys seems as though they've certainly put in the hard work and extended that gap. So shout out, big hats off to them after what happened previously. So for them to come back and retake the leader class, it's a testament to what those boys really want to achieve in this championship.
Yeah, that's right. And I was holding my breath when they did make that pass earlier, but it seemed to go off cleanly, and that was Gary Hamilton passing Scott Fountain at the time. That was a tipping point of that race. But yeah, so they're going, and we've got 367, the Blackadder Motorsport, with Stephen Spanteg behind the wheel of that, and they're sitting in third position at the moment and 1 lap down. So what's your thoughts so far in Class C, Luke?
Yeah, it's good. I was going to say just before, it's good to see those boys turn around their bit of bad luck that they had earlier on. I know they were pretty upset when we interviewed a few of them before, so we did say to them it was a long race, and they just put their head down and did the right thing, that they'd certainly make it back up towards the pointy end of the field. And sure enough, while we've been away, and obviously just before you left the broadcast before, that they've got round back into where they belong, up in first. And they did say they had a really quick car all week, and obviously they've proved that even against these other top level drivers, and they've let their driving do the talking and not leave it up to the stewards to do it for them.
Yeah, and I just had a look in the background. I think I'm just having a look, maybe I was wrong. Just looking at that view, it looked like one of the Tryhards roughs had spun out coming through, where's my overlay? I don't know, these, I was going to say French, these Italian names. Hang on. Yeah, out of Lesmo. but it doesn't look like we have a yellow flag, so all is well, and it must have been my eyes playing tricks.
Yeah, those guys in the try-hard racing cars having a bit of dramas tonight, or this afternoon, and throughout this race with the their roughs getting into a bit of trouble, but hopefully they can sort that out. And a few of them now just getting passed by a few of the HPDs, so still circulating, which is good, as they come up through Lesmers now, and looks like the leaders are going to come up on them soon as well, so hopefully they can just keep to their own race and hopefully not get in anyone's way for now.
Yeah, that's right, and the 337 out there, that's the one that did bring out the yellow flag, and it's good to see they've used their fast repair now. They're sitting in 28th at the moment and doing well, and their sister car, the 332, that car's been in all sorts of bothers today, still got all that nose pushed in. But they're going in 32nd, and they're 37 laps down, but they haven't given up, which is great to see.
Yeah, that's it. Especially over these long races, you never know, you can get other retirements in that in class, and you can certainly improve your position, even if it's not where you wanted to be. At least you can move up and say that you've finished the race, and any time behind the wheel in these enduros is always a good thing, especially for you, as I mentioned before, the racecraft for your drivers, and just some experience for maybe some drivers that haven't done much of the enduro racing. It's always good to be out there in a multi-class field, just get you a lot more aware of your surroundings and everything else.
Yeah, well, I think like the other car we're looking at now, Synergy Sim Racing 2, Scott Griffiths behind the wheel, they're 47 laps down, but I was going to say, I think once you get a damaged car like this and you're many laps down, it can really improve your driving, because a lot of these guys are used to driving cars in good condition, but I think you can learn a hell of a lot about cars and the way they handle when they're not in, when they're all beat up like this, and it just it makes you have to work that much harder as a driver, which I think is good because it stretches people.
Yeah, it can also help in the shorter races as well, when you may be able to avoid that unscheduled pit stop, and there's some drivers out there that can run just as hard or even faster than other drivers that have a good car when their car's beaten up, so it does help a lot.
Yeah, and I'm just having a look at our standings here at the moment. I'm not sure what's happened to the Redback Racing HPD. When they came out of the pits, they were looking at like they were in third. They've actually dropped a lap down, which we expected, but they've dropped all the way down to 5th now. So they've been passed by the number 14, JFF Racing's got past them, and so has the 116, Nutters Motorsport Orange. So definitely something's happened to that Redback entry. But they haven't had an off-track, so I'm not sure what has occurred to that car.
Bernie on lap 193, I'm looking at the moment. Warren has come in with no front nose on that HPD at all, so just give me a second, I'll try and find out what happened. But yeah, it looks as though he's had a big impact with the wall, and that's forced this unfortunate unscheduled pit stop and use of the second fast repair in turn.
So we're just bringing up the replay on 191. We'll see if we can bring this to you, folks. Yeah, that's gone. Oh yeah, he's gone heavily. Oh yeah, he's gone heavily out of Ascari there and into the wall on lap 191, and then he's gone. Oh, he's come straight out onto the track. Better watch that. He's tried to push on for a lap by the looks of it, but the team managers pulled that car in for repair, and that could explain what happened. So that's a bit of a blow.
Bit of a blow indeed, yeah, but the main thing is that they're still on that only that lap down with the other two cars, so if a safety car does happen to come out and they're in the right position, they're certainly back in the ball game here, so it's not all over and done yet. Still 2 hours 17 minutes to go in this race.
Oh, for sure, and they've got to make up 29 seconds on Nutters Motorsport Orange, who's currently in 4th position. Yeah, so we'll see how they progress as the race goes on, but it just goes to show how quickly this race can change in positions around here.
Yeah, it didn't help him help his cause at 3rd and 4th place. The cars of Joshua Burden and Mark Rayner in the Nutters Motorsport are running fairly close together. So once he was in pit lane, he lost those 2 positions fairly quickly. Just an update from race control as well. They've once again final warning for cars not obeying blue flags and have threatened with drive-through penalties for anyone else not adhering to those conditions.
Okay, it'd be interesting to see what that ruling's about as far as the blue flags. Is that not adhering to them for the same class, or are they talking about guys in lower classes not listening?
Yeah, he didn't exactly say, but I would dare say it's going to be for any class really, with most of the field being a lap down. There's going to be a lot of blue flags flying around. The marshal's arms might be getting a bit sore, so I think it's for everyone. I think Bernie, he did seem pretty serious. Good old Scott up there in race control, so hopefully the drivers take note. But apparently, looking at driver text here, there is a few cars that may or may not have done it more than once that people are getting a bit frustrated about.
Okay, we'll see how that develops as the race goes on, but at the moment out front, as always, Kurt Stenberg's leading the way, and he just lapped the Tryhards McLaren there. And as I said just before we came on there, that McLaren did come into contact with the 145, which is in 2nd, but fortunately they touched sides and didn't bend anything.
Yeah, it's always good news when you can get away with something minor like that without any too much damage or interrupting anyone's race. So good to see those boys are getting around. That McLaren was fairly beat up earlier on in the race, and being, I think, the only McLaren in the field, they're doing well to keep up with the others in class as well.
Yeah, that's right, and at the moment we don't have Adrian up here. He's got a very sick dog at the moment, so I'd like to give a shout out to him and his family. Hopefully everything's going well for them tonight. Just having a look around the track, trying to find if there's any battles that fortunately it looks like the guys are pretty well spread out.
Yeah, as I said, that battle I was watching before between Mark Rayner and the Nutters Motorsport Orange, the 116 car, and the other HDD of Luke Beck. You know, he's in 10th. There's the other one gone. He's got right off 3rd place. He's left him. He's just up the road. Joshua Burden in 3rd. They were close, but looks like they've spread out now. Probably out to about 3 or 4 second lead he's got on him. So that was about the closest battle we had, I think, so far.
Yeah, that leads 3.6 seconds as they cross the line there, and there's a Nutters Motorsport Green, I think it is, a bit cheeky there. He was looking at making a pass on Josh Burden there.
Just was watching that at the same time, Bernie. It was a bit cheeky in the one there, but looks like he's let him through, and maybe that warning about the blue flags might have scared him off a bit.
Yeah, and there's just had more news from Race Control. The Bureau of Meteorology has put out a storm warning in south of Queensland, including Brisbane. They're getting expected large hailstones, strong winds, and Race Control said they're getting a lot of dropouts in that area, so that could affect some of these drivers if they live in that area. So if you do, folks, stay safe up there, and hopefully everything will pass by without too many dramas.
Yeah, speaking of battles, the battle's on here for the 217 and the 243 P3 in Class B. So Josh is right on the back of one of the Schweck brothers at the moment, so this will be interesting again.
Yeah, it certainly will, and we can see that's Colin Schweck in the car just ahead of him, and that was a good pickup there, Brent, so we'll stick with this and see how this shapes out.
Yeah, just an update on that weather, Bernie. I did see on the news before they were suggesting there was what was it, tennis ball size hail, so that can't be good, and also the storm was that bad it took out the weather station up there, so I dare say when the storm takes out the weather station, you're pretty well in for a bit of a rough ride up there.
Oh, definitely, and it's affecting. They think the Brisbane CBD will be affected as well from that weather, as we see Josh Rogers go past the TD Racing. That was a really nice move there, and that was for position.
Yeah, well, it was pretty hard place to pass down there, 2 into 1. You've got to really get on the brakes nice and hard and try and not let the other guy hit the inside line for the left-hander. So yeah, he's done really well there, but both drivers obviously giving each other the racing room that they need.
Yeah, and Josh Rogers, got to give him kudos. You know, no matter what he jumps in this season or this year, he's been really competitive. We've seen him in the Star Mazdas, and he was in, he's really competitive in this class. And what other car have we seen him in? The GT3. So no matter what he gets in, he's really fast. So, once again, he's showing his calibre of driving out there.
Yeah, no, Josh has certainly improved since he joined All Star Motorsports earlier on in the year. He's really come on as a great young driver, and I'm thrilled to not say anything other than he's been offered a gig at a much larger team. So him along with someone else from the team are both going over there. So no, I won't say anything more than that, but I would want to both wish them the best for next season and next year for what that holds for them.
Yeah, well, they definitely did well for All Star Motorsports while they were there, didn't they? They brought home. What did you guys win last Wednesday night in the Sports Car Pro-Am?
Yeah, Josh managed to bring that home with just an absolutely dominant performance in the HPD. 6 straight pole positions, 6 straight wins. They brought it home in a 1-2 formation. So, Josh and Joel have both been an excellent, both have been excellent guys for the team. I'm happy that I've been able to assist them throughout the team, get noticed and get these drives. So, kudos to them. They've been absolutely brilliant, and I wish them all the best.
Yeah, definitely. It's saying that All-Star Motorsports, that team has come on very strong since its inception, and I'm still predicting big things for that team next year, and I think you've got a pretty good driver lineup on its way, and we'll just have to wait for the official announcement for all that, hey?
Yeah, that's still under wraps at the moment. Still working on a few little things, but yeah, I'm really excited to see what I've got. What I've got in store for the team next season, starting up a dev squad as well, so really keen for it. Can't wait to see what happens and bring on 2016 for the team and everyone else.
Yeah, I've heard they've got some good drivers lined up next year, Bernie, for that team, and might be looking at a shot at the V8s as well next year, as well as a lot of the GT3 and GT challenges.
Yeah, I've heard similar things, and I'm excited for that team to see what 2016 holds for them. And I think a lot of us are very excited for 2016, just with all the updates that are going to come through for iRacing and the sort of racing we can look forward to. It'll be really good.
Yeah, it's definitely can't wait to take the new McLaren out for a drive, the F1 car, and that'll open up a good series for the Star Mazda graduates as well to move up into next level of Formula 1 there, which will be excellent. I've heard some sounds and that they've released for that car, and yeah, it's sounding pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's coming out in the next release, isn't it? And the RF2 is coming out the release after that, I think. As we could see, our race leader, Dayco Motorsport 147, Kurt Stenberg, coming in to do his scheduled stop, and we'll see if he's out of the car or he must be due for a break by now, one would think.
Yeah, you never know, he could be some sort of robot and he'll just drive the rest of the race. I know a few of those guys in the Spa 24-hour earlier in the year, he's just done a really quick stop there and taken off almost straight away, so I'm not sure what was going on there. But yeah, like some of those drivers did 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, well, I know the Dayco's Motorsport guys, they love to do double, triple stints. We've seen it in previous long races where they'll be in there for, 2-3 hours or more, and they just like getting into that groove like robots and just turning lap after lap after lap. But looking at that stop, that was 2.3 seconds. I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume he's had to use a fast repair on that car.
Well, on that topic, Stenberg's just received a pit lane penalty for avoidable contact, so I'd say you hit the nail on the head there, Bernie. I'd say it looks as though they may have made contact with 337, with that team apologising for them braking earlier than expected, so expect Kurt in for the next within the next couple of laps for a pit lane penalty, unfortunately, so that'll definitely open the door for the 145 car and bring on a cracker of a fight, hopefully, for the HPD class.
Well, not only that, Josh Burden, 1 lap down, is right behind the 147 now, and he's going to get that lap back, so that's going to bring these guys back into play. I'm just looking where the Redback guys are. I don't think they're going to get a lap back, but GT Omega, they definitely will, so starting to heat up out there.
Redback's just coming through the second of the Lesmos now, so I don't think they'll get it. They'll be very close to getting it, but just not there, unfortunately. But yeah, definitely going to heat up in the HPD category, that's for sure, Bernie.
Yeah, so Josh Burden brings a GT Omega through to get that lap back, and great news for that team now. All they need now is a safety car, and they're going to be really into this race. As we can see, Kurt Stenberg coming through to serve that penalty for avoidable contact. Now, where's Redback? Yeah, the Redback guys, they're not going to get that lap back. They're just coming through Parabolica now.
Yeah, there's the GTI car just behind them. Bernie almost got their lap back as well. It's Kane in that car at the moment. He's currently running 6th. So they'd be probably pushing pretty hard now to try and maybe get an extra lap back on the boys since that incident. And as you say, if the safety car was coming out now, it'd be quite good for a fair bit of the field there that managed to get one of their laps back at least under that incident.
Yeah, well, it brings in Class A, it brings the top 3 now onto the same lap. So got Kurt Stenberg still leading the way. He's got a 31-second gap at the moment over his sister car, the 145, with Corey Slade behind the wheel. And then if we look, that gap is over a minute back to 3rd for Josh Burden. But we know Josh is a pretty fast steerer when he puts his head down.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm sure with the next lot of pit stops when they come around, that gap might close again as well, depending, as you say, if they have a safety car or another incident of some sort. But he seemed like he got that penalty over and done with pretty easy, and no dramas with the pit exit or anything like that. There has been a few cars that have been warned for crossing the control line before they need to, but that one was pretty straightforward for them.
Yeah, in Class B at the moment, we're just having a look here. Okay, so race control just let me know about the pit lane penalty for the 147 avoidable contact, which we've already seen served there. But Wayne Burke here, according to my overlays, he's now 2 laps ahead of Josh Rogers and Colin Schweck.
In game at the moment, SDC's Motorsports is leading Class B from Synergy 1. They're both 6 laps down, and then One Performance is then 8 laps down and on the same lap as the 217 TD racing car.
I forgot about the SDC Motorsports. Oh, sorry guys, they're actually leading Class B, aren't they? I totally missed them. So,
Yeah, they've certainly been the quiet achievers. You know, they've stayed out of trouble. Haven't really seen their car needing any fast repairs at all. So they've just kept it clean throughout the race so far. Just kept their noses down, and at the moment they're sitting on the same lap as Synergy. So if they can keep it ahead of Synergy for the rest of the race, they've certainly got a good shot here of getting their first AUC class win.
yeah, definitely. We've got Ethan the Grid Gold behind the wheel of that car. That's another name I haven't heard of. Doing a great job out there. As we can see, the GT Omega car coming under brakes, and tell you what, that was close.
Yeah, Ethan Grigolt's doing wonders in the V8 America series at the moment. And he's running right up the pointy end of the field, a few poles, a fair few wins. He's a good signing by SCC, and he's been running fairly well. Mainly runs America Series V8s, but has also done a bit of Monday nights, I believe, in the V8 main split. So yeah, he's definitely one to watch. I don't know how much PT3 racing he has done, but obviously an easy pick for the SDC boys with Marty Carroll and that, deciding to put him in a car. It's probably a smart choice.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess if they're good at steering a V8 supercar, that should translate fairly easily to one of these Corvettes, that's for sure.
Yeah, very similar concept with no traction control or ABS, so the added aero, he's quite quick in a V8 with minimal aero and none of the assists. So yeah, definitely, as I say, probably a fairly easy changeover for him.
Yeah, next time he jumps in a V8, it may not be as easy a transition going back the other way. But then again, once you know how to ride a bike, it probably comes pretty natural to these guys.
Yeah, definitely, and we'll see how they end up near the end, but they're definitely running, as you say, they've run a nice quiet race. The car's in good one piece, and haven't had too many dramas and kept themselves out of trouble, so it's good to see. Marty's had a bit of a rough ride in the V8s lately. He's had a few dip ups and that in the car, so it's good to see him having a solid run when he was in the car earlier, keeping the panel straight. So I'm sure he'll be quite happy with that, seeing this car running around in first place at the moment in park.
Yeah, definitely. And but the V8 supercars, that's a pretty hard competition to compete in out there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they big incident at Watkins Glen the other week, and wherever they were, I think before that. So yeah, it is quite tough competition. One of the most hard fought ones in sim racing on this service. So yeah, if you can make it in there, then you're doing quite well.
And looking further back down into Class C at the moment, 397 has Shane Van Gisbergen back in the car. So I'm thinking, guys, we should jump on board with Shane and do a lap around Monza. So we're on board with Shane Van Gisbergen now, folks. So crank it up and just enjoy a lap around Monza and see how a professional such as Shane handles these cars.
Well, he doesn't give way to a HPD to start with.
Yeah, I thought, knowing my luck, we're going to put the mockers on him now, but
yeah. Well, he's run wide too.
yeah, this is a great demonstration of, in the slower car, how you hold your line there and don't let those HPDs intimidate you. And you can see he's absolutely losing no time whatsoever as these faster cars make their way around him.
Yeah, and that's why you need to do it. You just let them do their thing. They're obviously faster and have a lot more aero, so they can normally manage to go around the outside in certain places in that as well.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and they can put those cars where they want and brake where they pretty much want, where the GT3 is a bit more of a handful, I think.
Sure when it happened, Bernie, but Selby Racing has actually gone 2 laps ahead of 397, so you know Selby are sitting in a very, very good position with just under 2 hours left of racing here. So it'll be interesting to see what happened there, and hopefully one of the Selby boys comes up to explain that, whether or not that was just pit strategy or something happened to the 397. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm having a look at lap 188. There was an incident, an off-track with the 397. We're just going to jump on here and have a look, but I can't see how it would have cost him that many laps. So we'll just have a look at if something has occurred here.
Well, sorry, that was... Yeah, it looks as though the 147 has only just lapped the Selby car now, so they've still got that 1 lap advantage, but you know, it's still a fair whacker margin to have so late in the race, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's right. It's yeah, they've got 1 lap up by the looks of it, according to here. So that's looking very handy for them at the moment. We know they would have wanted to stretch that gap as much as they could, because they knew Shane and Justin were going to get back in that car a bit later on tonight.
Yeah, just having a look, Bernie. We've got Rick Summerhades from Triad Racing down in the green room, I think, looking for an interview. So I guess while we've got a little bit of a gap here in proceedings, we might be able to drag him up and see what's going on with all those roughs that keep doing a bit of lawn mowing. Yeah,
well, do you want to have a chat with him then?
Yeah, might as well drag him up. It looks like Jake Malini's also come into the green room, so yeah, have a look. Good evening, Rick. Welcome to the RRTV commentating booth. How are you this evening?
G'day, Luke. Good, mate. How about yourself?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Just finished dinner and jumped in for the final couple of hours. We can see your roughs are having a bit of a hard time out there tonight. How are you finding things?
Mate, the roughs are doing it a bit rough by the looks of things, but I'm happy to say that as far as the McLaren goes, mate, we're on top in the McLaren stakes.
Yeah, I made note before. It was a little bit bent earlier on in the race, but good to see the Lone Ranger going around there and mixing it up with a few of these more preferred GT3 cars.
Yeah, definitely. I think the McLaren was a bit of a hard race here. We've had a lot of push in the front, and she doesn't want to turn too well.
Yeah, we've been talking to a few drivers. They're saying a little bit of tyre degradation later on in the stints. Mainly in the GT3s and the HPDs, just due to the hot track more than anything. How are you guys finding it in yours?
No, we found the same. With the practice sessions earlier in the week, the McLaren was going really well. I think one of the boys posted a 146 up. And we thought, hey, this is looking good, and came around to race day, and mate, the tracks bit us in the rear end.
Yeah, it's no good, mate. We've just looks like we're looking at a replay here. One of your boys have just put the mockers on the 337 car, and it's gone round at the second lot of chicanes there into the wall, and we can see him in pit lane now, just getting some repairs done.
Yeah, so that was Craig behind the wheel. Craig since got out of that car, and I think it's Lewis Wedding is back into that car, and as you said, going through Ascari there, the back end came around, and unfortunately he hit the wall.
Yeah, we've had a bit of that. The boys have been doing it tough, most definitely. But last time I checked, I think we had one of the cars up in the top 20. So hopefully they can stick up there.
Sorry to interrupt, guys, but they've just thrown the caution for a car out of fuel. Michael Hemmons in that car at the moment, unfortunately. So that's stranded on track and can't go anywhere.
Yeah, I'm looking for it on our overlay here, but he's not appearing at this point in time. But yeah, the 332, your other car's also in the pits at this stage. They came in before the caution was thrown, and looks like a scheduled stop. Darren Bull is jumping back in the wheel there.
Yeah, there's just a bit of confusion there, Bernie. Someone's saying they ran out of fuel. I think it was Marty Carroll on the radio there, letting Scott know that another car was coming back out on track and wasn't out of fuel. Or it's a bit late now. The caution has been thrown by race control for that car that did run out of fuel, and subsequently they're all just going to have to proceed around now. And sounds like a few of the boys are looking maybe to make a pit stop shortly. We'll just have to wait and see how that folds out.
Also, just had contact with the Nutters Motorsport car and one of the TD Racing DPs going in the second chicane under yellows.
Yeah, we saw that come up on the track map there. It threw yellow there coming into the second chicane. So we'll just go and have a look at this replay. Sorry, Rick, we will get back to you very shortly.
All good, mate.
Always happens. As soon as we have a quiet time for an interview, everything hits the fan.
Yeah, so it looks like Corvette's run off on the inside, and Trent's just threaded the needle there, so there's no contact, but there's definitely a Corvette going very slowly. That's one of the TD Racing entries. So I think they just banked up because of the yellow flag coming out.
Yeah, it's hard to say. A few of the drivers did say it was under caution when he got bumped. But yeah, as you say, there's a few cars that got lucky there actually. I think that were just coming out of pit lane as that caution was thrown. So, but yeah, as you say, looking at that replay, there's definitely one of the Corvettes going quite slow.
Yeah, that's one of the, I'm just trying to see which one that was. I think that was the 227 with Timothy Schweck. So I think that was the one going slow, but I can't be sure because they're back up to speed again. No, sorry, it's Colin Schweck that slowed right down. But I'll tell you what, this is going to play into the hands of GT Omega here. They got their lap back, they've got a safety car, and this is going to allow them to close right up on the two Dacos.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm pretty sure the Daco cars are now a little bit out of sequence to that GT Omega car, so definitely, and looking back in the field here, there's a lot of HPD just behind, a couple of cars behind the leader here, so definitely make an interesting restart.
Yeah, and we're just having a look at the overlay now. The pace car's coming down to Ascari. Josh Burden now is just coming through Lesmo, and he should catch them by the time they get to Ascari. And there's 3 cars in the pits at this stage.
Yeah, so if those cars in the pits weren't in before, they will more than likely get a penalty for entering a closed pits, but they could have also been there prior, which won't affect the race at all. But yes, all the cars following that really awkwardly coloured Mustang pace car.
Yeah, so I reckon while it's quiet, let's finish this interview with Rick here, yes. and get him out of here before it all goes nuts.
Yeah, no, I want to watch the end of the race, mate. It's getting exciting for sure.
Yeah, it never ceases to amaze me how those cars just sort of the Class A closes up towards the end of the race, and normally gives us some good racing. One of the cars that is in the pits, your 337, that was the one that hit the wall. They're still undergoing repairs, but they were in there before the yellow. The 288, Mike Koroloff's also in the pits. He's been in there for a very long time as well, so no doubt both of those cars are just undergoing service. As we can see now, a whole heap of cars are coming in. That's my technical term there.
a gaggle of cars maybe. Yeah, and the lights are off in the pace car too, so it looks like they might go green this time around. So we'll do this interview, finish this up. And Rick, so what are the plans for the last couple of hours? Just mainly for the McLaren team in the roughs, just try and keep them out of the walls now for the last couple of hours and see if we can get some experience in the drivers.
Yeah, look, most definitely. We've had a tough race. But the boys are doing a good job. I mean, it's try hard racing. That's what we're there for. So big shout out to all the boys there and GT Amiga and yourselves at RRTV. And good luck to all the try hards medalist boys.
Yeah, no worries, mate. And good luck to you and all the boys as well. Looks like the 332 car, I think of you guys, is only about 4 cars back in the pace car. So look for them to be very busy for the next couple of laps.
No, it should be exciting. Thanks a lot, guys, and thanks for the broadcast.
No worries, Rick, and thanks for coming up for a chat, and your boys are more than welcome to come up and have a chat whenever they like.
Cheers, boys.
Well, Luke, I must say that end of that interview was a bit of an anticlimax.
I ran out of questions. I was too distracted by the on-track proceedings.
Yeah, so it was interesting. About 10 of the cars came into pits during that. I noticed the Dayco boys both stayed out. And I'm just having a look to see, we've got the line-up here. I just want to see where Josh Burden is in that train. It's very hard to tell at this stage, but he's got quite a lot of work to do before he can get anywhere near the 2 Dayco cars, I think.
Yes, and I think I might go on board with the 332 rough of the try-hard boys for this restart, just for a bit of a laugh, and see how hard these HDVs are going to try behind him. But yeah, definitely that redback car has a bit of work to do to get back up there, but again, they're all in with a chance now that the field's compressed.
Yeah, and I think we're going to jump on board for our viewers here with Josh Burden for this restart. He's 4th from the end of the queue in a HPD, and I just want the viewers to see how hard these guys have to work at these restarts to try to get through all these gaggle of cars, I guess you could say.
Yeah, Josh has a fair bit of work. Corey's 23 cars up the road there, so like you said, Josh is right down the rear of this train, whereas the 2 Dayco cars are right up at the pointy end, so exact opposite ends of it. But I've raced against Josh before. He's a very hard racer, and he'll go hell for leather trying to get back up there. So because they're definitely with the shot now, so be on for young and old going down into turn 1, down here.
Yeah, so we're just waiting now to go green as we ride with Josh Burden here for GT Omega, and hold on to your hats, folks, because this could be quite an exciting lap around Monza.
Green flag.
There they go, there's green flag. Oh, Darren's got a really bad start. The 332, he's absolutely been swamped. Even his McLaren teammate's going to pass him.
Josh Burden was involved in a big accident there at the start. One of the HPDs went around. He has hit, but he's still continuing. But he's lost the nose of that car.
Yeah, the ANZ Gisbergen, I think it was, in that car, did a massive dive bomb into turn 1 there and just overtook about 3 cars. Managed to keep his nose clean, but the caution is back out again.
Colin Schweck in the 217 is on his roof. The voice chat is saying, so it's interesting.
Okay, we'll have a look at that in a moment. I'm just having a look at what happened to Josh here. He was going on the outside. We were riding with him. The TD Racing went over. He's on his roof. He was collected by Josh Burden. We've got another HPD also on their roof at the start-finish line now.
Oh yeah, the boys, don't know what they were doing there, but it just seemed like the whole field almost had a false start, and some cars just didn't get away, and that was a terrible pilot, that one.
Yeah, well, it's trashed.
The sounds of... Sorry, you go back, Annie.
I was going to say it's absolutely trashed the 217. That car is in the pits now. It's got absolutely no rear wing or anything on that car.
Yeah, by the sounds of it, I'm not sure who, but someone balked the field. They, brake tested the field going down into turn 1 there, so on the straight. So, I'm not playing a blaming game here, but whatever happened there certainly caused that issue with the Schweck brothers, and that's really, really unfortunate. TD Racing guys, they were going so well, battling with one performance for third in class. So, not the way they would have wanted to end their AEC race at Monza. It's under investigation at the moment, so.
Yeah, it's definitely he definitely got checked up. He ran into the back of a car, another Corvette, which put himself into the wall. He was then tagged by GT Omega, which lost their wing, and I think it might have been the VPR entry. HPD also ended up on its roof.
Yeah, Burden unfortunately had nowhere to go, just straight into the side of the VPR car, so it's really unlucky for those guys.
Yeah, so
sorry Bernie, it just had a terrible bounce back off that wall and collected the other two HPDs. They just had nowhere to go.
And that is definitely what GT Omega did not need today, and I hope Race Control's looking into who checked that field up, because it definitely has caused quite a bit of a flow-on effect, I guess, down through that field.
Yeah, just leaning back at lap 195, one of the GT Omega BMWs got caught up in the return 1 incident there. Just looking back, I think it might have been. I can't find it. I'll get back to that one.
We're just going to have a look at the restart here. We can see the leaders coming down. Kurt Stenberg, they are... Yep, they weren't checking it up. They got a nice clean start there.
One of the IRFF, Paul Feely, in the 310 Pagnian IRFF Racing BMW got turned around and has big damage on that car, so that's unfortunate for those guys too.
Yeah,
yes, that's the one I saw.
That's a BMW parked down. We just went past him. That was Paul Feely, was it?
Yeah, number 310. There's no front end of that, no bonnet. She's not looking good at all. It doesn't really want to turn at all. That's really unfortunate for the IRFF guys. They had a strong showing all the time, so the boys. Everyone's just gone a little bit crazy these past couple of restarts. Bernie and Luke.
Yeah, it looks like that. Sorry, Bernie. It looks like Paul just got the wheel on the grass in the braking zone, and the 3374 just happened to run into the back of him as he got loose. So it was a little bit of his own doing there. It wasn't so much anyone running into him, but then it looks like he had a really bad connection issue afterwards. So. Yeah,
and it was that group of cars that checked up as well, just ahead of Paul, which caused that incident behind them.
I'm sure those control will be right under that.
Yeah, I'd say that's going to be a racing incident myself. It didn't look like anyone deliberately braked. It just looked like the mix of cars just got themselves tripped up a little bit on that restart.
Yeah, that was a massive impact that he had with the wall there, Bernie, on the looking back at that, and he is linking the car around to avoid that towing thing, but the poor old BMW is not steering too well, so hopefully he'll be able to get that back to the pits and get it repaired. But if he doesn't have a fast repair, I dare say that might be race over for those Pagnian boys, unfortunately, in the 310.
Yeah, well, he's just pulled it in, and they haven't done the fast repair as yet, so I have a feeling they're out of fast repairs. They're 22 laps down, but to get that car drivable again, it's going to take a bit of work. And we can see Josh Burton has had a fast repair, and he's brought that car in. He's currently sitting on my overlays are absolutely wrong. got third on the overlay, second on my driver lineup, but I think he's probably more likely third at this point.
Yeah, he's sitting in third in the 14 machine there at the moment, Bernie.
Actually, no, he's sitting in second because Sam Sutton has jumped in the 147 Dayco and he's 2 cars behind. So it looks like the Dayco boys have chosen to jump in and take a pit stop, and that's quite an interesting strategy considering they're right up the back of the field now.
Yeah, Sammy's a good steerer though. He'll probably stay in for the rest of the race here, so he'll probably double stint or triple stint, so be very interesting to see how he goes, but he'll pull that 147 machine right back up to the front of the field there.
Yeah, and I'm not going to go on board with him because last time we tried that they ended up crashing, and I don't want to be held responsible for putting the mockers on any of these guys.
Shot not,
So
I
out
don't want to.
pace car.
So we can see the pace car lights are out. Corey Slade is right behind and he's our leader. Josh Burden right down the back of the field, so probably 20 something cars separating them. The race is going to be on between him and Sam Sutton though, and that's probably what we'll focus on at the restart. What do you guys think?
Yeah, definitely sounds like a good battle's going to happen there, and hopefully they get a bit cleaner restart on this one.
The other big battle's going to be Martin Carroll and Michael Schreier. We've got Michael Schreier just ahead of Martin Carroll. So those guys are going to be battling it out for Class B at the restart. Then we've got
first place.
Then Nathan Hepatz. He's got Shane Van Gisbergen 4 cars ahead of him. So that's going to be a battle as well.
Yeah, definitely these 2 safety cars in a row bunched up all the battles again, so we should be in for some good excitement for the next restart.
So you can see the leaders coming around now to take the green flag, and it's all in the hands now of Corey Slade. He's waiting for the green to go. Cars are looking good.
Bit spread out there.
Yeah, it's very delayed.
It was a very delayed restart there, wasn't it?
Yeah, and just on board now with Michael Schreier. He's got a great start. He's gone past some HPDs as well. He's looking up the inside, but he's got PT3 blocking his path as they all come down the braking zone. He's big bottleneck here.
Yeah, we can see we're riding with Sam Sutton at the moment. They're almost stops down here, and I tell you what, that's a real risk, isn't it, that they could get rear-ended, but he's pulled right up behind Josh Burden there.
Yeah, Joshy Rogers was 3 wide going into the first chicane there, big dog bombs, so managed to pull it up and get it stopped, but yeah, you know, very game and hairy stuff on the opening of the restart here, guys.
He has battled with some kind of Michael here. We've got 3 GP3 cars battling out with the Shelby boys, and looks like I think they're lapping the Blackadder Motorsports, and we've got the orange McLaren up in front there. We're trying to go 3 wide through here. That's not going to work. Oh, somehow he got through there. Trey just telling everyone to get out of his way pretty much, and trying to catch Marty there as he comes up to the McLaren now, coming into this Scaria and this.
Yeah, we're riding on top with Martin Carroll here, and I tell you what, he's not taking any prisoners either, as he's trying to cut through that field to make as many positions up as he can on, I think it's, who is it, Schreier's ahead of him at this point.
Yeah, I think so. Schreier's trying to stretch it out now.
Oh, we got position 2 and 3 here, guys, going side by side into Parabolica for Class A in the HPD class, so they're going for hell for leather here. You got the 2 DPs up the side. Whoa, nearly contact there. It's, yeah, wouldn't want to be out there at the moment, guys.
We've also got the leader, the leader
4 wide into 1.
22, the leader of Class B's in there as well.
They just went 4 wide down the main straight there, Bernie, at one point in time there. That was just insane.
Marty Carroll in the DP, then Josh K. Rogers, another DP in front of him, and Warren Pickering as well in the redback Bernie. They were 4 wide, one with the GT Omega car. I don't know how that was going to work, and the Daco car was there too.
Well, I guess, when they're battling for position, like all of them, they have to cut through this field as quickly as they can, so that's when they're all taking risks, as Warren there nearly collected the Corvette in front of him.
Yeah, it's still going on there. They're running real tight pack there at the moment, and now there's a PT3 in the mix as well, so that's going to get very interesting coming to Ascari here.
That's Shane Van Gisbergen on the inside there through Ascari, and I think he's our... I'm not sure where he's placed. He's 1 lap down, isn't he? But second in class.
Yeah, he's doing the right thing. He just maintained his line, although he did go very wide out of that, and I know the stewards are looking into people running wide around that exit, but obviously when he's leading cars past it, worry the stewards too much, but this group just won't give up, and there's a redback car now. Warren's just managing to get out of that bit of scuffle there, and two DPs finding it out now behind him.
Meanwhile, Sam Sutton, Josh Burton 2 wide down into the first chicane here. Sam's going on the outside. Josh doesn't want him to have it, but he's had to relinquish that position. So Sam's back up into second, but Josh is right on his hammer.
Yeah, it's great racing as they chat around here. No, no lift at all with the amount of arrows coming into the first parabolic here. Oh, nearly touched.
Yeah, that was good driving there by Sam. He left his braking really late, and he forced Josh to off that line, which has given him a good 4 car lengths just from that defensive move.
Yeah, and he just ran a little wide there on both of those exits around there, but it has allowed Josh to start clawing back slightly.
It looks like Warren Pickering's also got through those cars now, and he's got a bit of fresh air there. And yeah, so touch and go, but to the credit of all those boys, it looks like they got away with it.
Yeah, I did see something pop up from race control, Bernie, that I unfortunately had driver chat muted, so I didn't hear what the call was, but I'm sure they'll be in touch with you shortly. Might have been about a few of those incidents at the restart there before.
That was one of them was for 217 receiving a drive-through penalty, avoidable contact on the restart, and there's also some chatter going on about more cars not adhering to blue flags.
Meanwhile, Michael Schreier is just ahead of the Class B leader Martin Carroll here, so no doubt he's wanting to try to stay on this lead lap if he can. Well, he's actually 1 lap down, I think. I'm a bit confused here, guys.
Yeah, Schreier is currently he's trying to get his lap back on the SDC Motorsports car, so he's sitting in second at the moment. SDC Motorsports is first in class, followed by One Performance Racing, who is in position 3.
And we've got Michael Schreier. It says here is a lap down, but he's sitting just in front of 22 Martin Carroll. So is he trying to stop himself going 2 laps down at this point?
I dare say he would be, yeah, I think so, Bernie, by the look of the in-game overlays. They are only one lap down at the moment, so hopefully they'll be looking to stay ahead.
And the 217 avoidable contact, well, that car's not going anywhere. It's in the pits and absolutely trash. So I dare say that penalty that's been dished out to that car's probably not going to get served at this point in time.
No, it's unfortunate, but it was quite a large accident, so being with all the different bugs that happened earlier on in the proceedings, that doesn't surprise a few people that there's not a lot of fast repairs left with only an hour and just under an hour and a half to go.
Yeah, that's right. And Class C at the moment, Nathan Hapatz is leading the way. He's got 1 lap up now on the 397, which is ANZ Motorsports there. So it's looking pretty good for Selby at this stage of the race. Third in Class C is Blackadder Motorsport, and with Robin Rosenvinge, Rosenvinge, I think his name is, third in class at the moment. Fourth is OSR with Matthew Nethercote behind the wheel of that car, so it's great to see Matt having a drive. And then fifth in Class C is the Redback Racing BMW, so that's a fairly good recovery. They were running about 8th or 9th earlier on this evening.
Yeah, good recovery there from the 351 of the OSR car. You know, they spun around and went back right to the rear of the GT3 field there, so, you know, testament to those guys. They've kept pushing on and back up into the top 5. They've got the Redback Racing and Tryhard's roof on the same lap as them for position, so they'll be fighting hard to stay ahead of them while trying to catch up to the cars ahead as well.
Oh, and you've got a trifecta here of Tryhard's cars trying to chase him down in that Redback BMW, all the roughs. You've got Brett Woods, that'll be 4th position on that car, and then you've got the 2 other Tryhards Racing 1 and 2 with Darren Bull and Lewis Wedding in the 337, all following each other around, but they are laps down. Actually, the 332 and the 337 are for position, and then Brett Woods in the 334 will be on position for the Redback once he catches him up.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting, isn't it? Doesn't matter where you look in the field, these guys all have their own battles, all have their own dramas and issues they've got to deal with, and hurdles they're trying to jump over. So it's great racing by the whole field here again tonight.
Yeah, it looked like there was a bit of smoke out of the second lot of chicanes there, Bernie, but I didn't see any cars around as the Tryhard boys come through there, so must have just been a bit of a slider, but there is marks that go right on the inside wall there, so I might have to go back and look at that and see who it was.
Yeah, we did have a yellow come out at Lesmo temporarily, but I'm just not sure which car that was, but they're still continuing. There's no car stopped out there on track at this stage.
Just reading in the YouTube chat, Bernie, that Shane was in the wall at one point in time, but it looks as though he's managed to get that car moving again. He's right behind the Selby car here, so he'll be trying to get a lap on that car to try and start hunting him down for the final part of this race, but it's going to be a tough ask with just over an hour and 40 to go.
Yeah, and I know the Selby boys mentioned before, for the viewers that weren't here, that they weren't looking forward to battling out with SVG and the ANZ boys, as they're not really in the championship. They've just come in for a one-off race kind of thing, and the Selby boys were hoping that they'd be able to keep clear of them after the earlier incidents, but we'll see how they go. They are pretty strong, so hopefully they just keep level head, and even if they do let SVG past you, you know, you've still got a fair way to catch up, so hope they all keep level heads.
Yeah, I think if I was Nathan there, I'd just let him through. They're a lap down, and you know, if you battle it and you're going for championship points and you bin it, then it's going to hurt a hell of a lot, where they've got a lap up, and you know, they can either try and hold him there, or you know, don't battle at this point in time. Wait to see if he actually comes back a second time on them, and then fight for that position.
Yeah, that's it. You know, coming towards the end of this championship with only one round to go after this, you've really got to start getting into the mind of, you know, salvaging as many championship points as you can, and that may well mean, you know, as much as you don't want to admit it, you got to lose a race. But you know, you've also got to bag those championship points as well if the car behind you isn't in contention at all. So, be interesting to see what the Selby boys do here. No doubt they'll keep a level head. So. Just have to see what transpires in the next few laps.
Yeah, definitely, but it'll be interesting to see how they do play this one. And we're riding on the top with Shane Van Gisbergen at the moment, as he's trying to hunt down Nathan Hapats for Selby Motorsport here.
Yeah, effectively Bernie as well. Like even if they were to get passed for the lead by the ANZ boys, they still technically first, as they're not really in championship contention. So as long as they stay ahead of their championship rivals, that's all they should be worried about really at the moment.
Yeah, well, that's the way I think you've got to look at it, don't you? These are big championships, and you don't want to, if you're going for a championship, bin that car and not get any points. You've sort of just got to have look at the big picture here a bit, I think.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, he's not putting too much pressure on Nathan at the moment, so Nathan's doing a good job of just eyes forward, and I'd just turn off eyes forward. Don't worry about your mirrors, and if he does want to make a move, don't make it too hard for him.
Yeah, I think that's the way it's going, but at the moment Shane's just shadowing him, sitting there, and no doubt knowing Shane, he is trying to close that gap, but Nathan's putting in some pretty good times out there.
Yeah, definitely. No search a 149.3 last lap, and SVG a 149.3 as well. So he was actually Nathan was about 0.05 quicker than SVG on that last lap. So hence why we can see that this gap isn't really changing too much. Both drivers are knocking in fairly consistent laps.
Yeah, and one thing I admire about SVG out there is he loves his racing. It doesn't matter what it is, he's in it, and it's great to see him here tonight having a good run.
Yes, there's a fair few bashing him up over social media after the supercar round and the movie put on Reynolds, but he is a fairly good character in retrospect, and that was just a one-off thing, but I'm sure a lot of other people would have done the same thing if they were in that position, and you get behind the wheel and strap yourself in and everything changes. So.
Yeah, you know, I saw that as he gets a bit out of shape there.
Slightly.
It just had a bit... Did you just see that? It just jinked a little bit. I'm not sure what that was. Yeah, I was going to say. You don't want to be up wide there. Yeah, I know we got a bit of a bagging over that incident at Phillip Island with the V8s, but you know, racing's racing, and it happens, I guess you could say, in the V8 supercars.
Yeah, I think as Joe Murphy or someone was posted up a massive rant about was bashing him up on social media, and again, it's more so if you're a Ford supporter, then you disliked it. If you're a Holden driver, or whatever, you know what I mean, it's more, you don't hate the driver, you just hate the manufacturer and whoever just happens to be driving that manufacturer at the time when you get angry. So I'm sure most people will let that go, and the final round at Sydney next week, I'm sure he's looking forward to it and just getting some well-earned rest time, and I'm sure it's a bit of fun for him, as you say. He closed right in there on the Philly car. It's a good battle now.
Yeah, it's starting to heat up with this one, but it's not for position, and I wouldn't expect the Shelby boys to fight this too much once Shane does catch him, but it's taken him quite a while to try to reel him in, so their lap times are both, you know, in the 149s at this stage.
Yeah, and last time round I think they were exactly the same again, as they just crossed the line once more. Shane's time not registering, he had that sieve off track. The Lawrence racing car comes out next to him, and Nathan did another 149, so yeah, you're right, they are quite consistent, and it seems like this will go on for a while now, but again, as for position, as you say, it's not going to be too hotly contested once it does happen.
So your HPD's coming up to to spice this little battle up as well to come through. So if you guys keep an eye on this battle, I'll jump up and show the viewers, then again we should stay with this, but how the other classes are faring as well.
Yeah, it's right, Bernie, no worries. That HPD's the thing we play through now around Shelby Motorsports and Nathan there, not letting getting in too much trouble there, so but SVG's now closed back on the back of him. Yeah, just run through the full field, they've just got a bit of a draft now. You might look for a move around the outside or inside, down the carousel there, or parabolic as it's known here.
So yeah, Class B at the moment, Marty Carroll is leading that. He has got put Michael Schreier down a lap. He's 1 lap down. Josh Rogers is 2 laps down, and he's right behind Michael Schreier as well. Class A, Sam Sutton, he's got a 2.8 second lead over Josh Burton in second, so that's heated up. Reece Gardner for the 145, he is down 42 seconds, and the last car on the lead lap at this stage.
You know, Bernie, looks like we've got Bobby Jovanovic in from JFF. Down in the green room, might be looking for an interview. I think that might be the JFF Racing GTM I think was involved in that incident earlier on.
Yeah, I'll bring him up shortly. We're just catching on with this battle with Shane here as he tries to unlap himself. And I tell you what, Nathan is not making this easy one bit.
No, definitely not. Really friendly there, really close.
Well, they're both taken to the grass here, aren't they? And they're both pushing this car, both of them right on the edge, and I just have a feeling that as a HPD is trying to also get in past them. I just have a feeling this is a battle that does not need to be played out at this point of the race.
No, that's right. I mean, they're not like, Nathan's done a 50 last time, so they are losing a little bit as you see Kane there going around the outside or inside. Shane looking maybe to follow him through. Nathan's run a bit wide there, Shane's up the inside. This is where you got to be careful. Now you just let him through and just let him go. I mean, you can keep with him anyway, your pace is good. It looks like he's going to fight him on the outside with a side draft here. And this condemned in tears.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking there. It's there's a hell of a lot of risk they're taking as one of the Dayco cars come past to put them on a lap again, and now Nathan lets him through.
Nathan can now just sit in that draft to Shane, eke those little bits of fuel out to extend his fuel stint a little bit longer. This can only play into their hands, It's going to be a mighty. Shane's got 70 minutes to try and unlap himself, so it's going to be a mighty effort for him to try and get back up and close on to the rear of that Selby car. So it'll be interesting to see how the final 10-15 minutes of this race play out for this GT3 class lead.
Yeah, exactly. All Nathan has to do though is keep him in his sights, and as the G&T Racing HPD now comes up to put a lap down. I tell you what, he left it to the last minute, and was probably an interesting spot to relinquish that fight, wasn't it?
Yeah, not wrong. He just threw it up there like an arrow and just went, that'll do me, I'll pass you there. And you just definitely see the effects of the aero package on these things compared to the PT3. But lucky for Nathan, it hasn't really hindered him too much as those cars are now sign up saying trying to get around him. So all he has to do, he knows he's within half a second each lap of Shane and even quicker, so he just has to keep him in view, and he's got no chance of getting back around him.
Yeah, that's right. And anyway, now that it's calmed down, let's bring Bobby up for a bit of a chat and see how they're going tonight. Hi Bobby, thanks for waiting, and welcome to the RRTV commentary box. How's how's your race shaping up tonight?
Hi guys. Yeah, we've come into a bit of luck at the end of the race. So I think we had a bit of a shaky start, and now our kind of strategies kind of fall into place. We're just trying to hold on to Sam Sutton. He's very quick tonight, so I think we're not entirely sure on fuel yet. But I think we should be able to make it home with one more stop. But yeah, we're just trying to kind of split the Daco cars and see what we've got left in the last 45 minutes.
Yeah, well, it's looking good. You're 7.5 seconds down roughly on Sam, but you've got a good 35-second lead over Reece Gardner at the moment. And yeah, you're right, the race definitely did come to you guys later on in the evening, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. We keep forgetting just how fragile these HPDs are, and we're all kind of used to the old bit of GT racing with a bit of different barging. And earlier in the race, just a little tiny touch, just when those safety cars came out, just in the first corner, and you lose 15 k's down the straight. So we've had a few stints where we've kind of had no straight line speed, but yeah, we're just worried about that second Daco car because they've pitted. I don't think their last pit will be as long as ours. So whether if we pit again, whether we all kind of come out together and the last stint will be one huge race, but we just have to wait and see.
Yeah, well, it's an hour and 11. Anything could happen yet, but I'm sorry. We were riding with Josh earlier at the restart when he got caught up in that incident, and I'm blaming Brent for that because he said let's jump in and put the mockers on Josh.
Yeah. We had our stop and we were like, this is gonna work. We're gonna be in a really good position, and then that happened, and then we quickly looked whether we had fast repairs left, and we had a fast repair, and then we just crossed our fingers that there'll be another caution thrown. So luckily, with our fast repair, we just pitted the stop beforehand and got fuel and tyres. So we only used 2 kilos of fuel. So we just put the fast repair on, filled the tanks up, and pretty much jumped one of the Daco cars, and then hopefully we'll just jump the Daco car then as they pitted under green. So hopefully, again, we'll see what happens, and I've got a feeling the last half an hour it's going to be on.
Yeah, it's definitely getting that sort of feeling, isn't it? But it's you guys are putting on some great racing for the viewers out there, and to be this far in. Just about a 7-hour mark and 8 seconds separating you guys. I know I say it seems to happen just about every single round. We get a long way into these races and the Class A is still battling.
Yeah, endurance racing really shows that anything can happen. Like 2 hours in, we were 7th and a lap down, and we thought we were totally out of the race. So it's just kind of sticking to your strategy and just being patient and just seeing how the race, turns out. And normally, if you keep your nose clean and, the last hour you're kind of always there if you're, within that lap of the lead car. And luckily we are, and, we're happy to get the GTM HPD up front. And like you said, with the coverage, Redback TV do such an awesome job, and hopefully that we can put on a show last half an hour.
Yeah, and the track's playing. When we started this broadcast, it was 46 degrees out there. It's now down to 41 degrees, so it's dropped a good 4 degrees temperature in the last 7 hours, and it looks like it's cooling off, which is probably good news for the tyres as well.
Yeah, it's funny how much 4 degrees can make a difference. We had a pretty quick set all week through practice and qualifying. We kind of just went more for a race setup. Because like I said, anything can happen, so we were kind of happy to stop the top 6. And when we jumped in the server beforehand, we had so much push, it wasn't even funny. So the car and the track's kind of come to us, and the car looks after its tyres really well. So hopefully, with the 4 degree drop, that the cars, hopefully in the last half an hour might drop a little bit more, and we might see some epic racing.
Yeah, definitely. And over those 7 hours, we can see there's a lot of rubbering in going on out there and marbles. How's the track been going for you guys? Is it actually coming to you as the race progresses, or is your setup fighting you?
No, it's definitely come back to us. So we're starting to get a lot more turn in the car, and the car's stopping a lot easier. Even corner exit, there's so much rubber on the road now, you can pretty much get into it straight away. But those marbles offline is getting a little bit tougher. So it's just getting around those GT cars when we go offline. It's you get a little bit nervous, but Josh is doing such a good job at the moment. He's eyes on the prize, so he's focused, and he knows how it all works. So he'll probably sit in the car for the rest of the race and finish.
Fantastic. Well, I'll hand you over to the other guys. We've got Brant Tucker up here and Luke Emerton. Have either of you guys got some questions for Bobby?
Bobby's Luke. Just with the drivers, are you looking to double sit your driver for your last thing, or are you going to get someone fresh in to run the last half hour or so once you do your pit stops?
At this point, we'll probably keep Josh in the car. He's been quite consistent this week with lap times, and like I said, if it comes down to the last half an hour where it's it's on between Dayco, we kind of want our most consistent driver in the car. So we'll probably keep him in the car at this point. If anything negative or anything bad happens and we don't really have a chance to kind of get up there and win it, we might change driver and just call it a day for Josh. But at this point in time, we'll leave Josh in and kind of see what happens. Yeah,
and obviously you'll probably take some fresh tyres for him as well, or and a splash of fuel. Obviously you won't need a full tank depending on when you need to pit. So it might be a good sprint race near the end there, and definitely make it a lot more interesting up here in the comms box if there's 3 or 4 cars fighting for that last couple of positions once the pit stops are done.
Yes, I think we'll need to take a full tank next stop. I think pretty much we figured out that with our last stop we needed 120.1 kilos of fuel to make it home with one stop. So it's going to be tight. I think the safety car helped us out a little bit, but we're going to be tight. So we're not confident we're going to make it with just one more stop. We may need a splash and dash, but again, anything can happen. So we just got our fingers crossed, and just hopefully that it turns out to be a good show.
Yep, no worries, mate. And would you like to thank any shout outs or anything, sponsors, before we let you go?
Yeah, I just want to thank Redback TV for jumping on board with PT3 Mega JFF and putting on such an awesome show. I've got a lot of friends that are kind of watching that have nothing to do with racing, and they're continuously messaging me saying how awesome it is to watch and how realistic it looks on some big TVs. So big thanks to you guys, and again thanks to JFF for putting on such an awesome endurance season this year. I know Scotty Stevens and the boys have really dug deep with trying to put a lot of work into this, and I know it's JFF's baby for this year, and we're looking forward to putting on a massive show next year with a lot more 24-hour races, and with the change of cars coming into the simulator, that hopefully we'll see some different classes, and again, and thanks to GT Mega for helping out this year with our team, and hopefully we've got one more round to go at VRR, so we'll hopefully finish the season off and the series off with a bang.
Yeah, no worries, Bobby, and thanks a lot for coming up for a chat, and we wish you boys good luck in the last hour and 30 seconds pretty much. So keep up the good work, and let the boys know. We'll hope to talk to you a bit later on and at the end of the race.
Cheers guys, thanks again, see you later.
And that was Bobby there. We get a few of these drivers up for interviews throughout the proceedings, and just as we were doing that interview, we had Scott Connors in the G&T Racing HDP prototype that was into the wall and was missing a front end, and he's just pitted. Looks like he's used up his last fast repair, but he's straight back out on the track now, currently running in 8th position in the 111 car.
And sorry, Bernie. Nathan Apatz has just repassed Shane Van Gisbergen too, so that battle is still ensuing and looks like it's not going to stop anytime soon. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. If it stays the way it is, Selby's got this wrapped up, so we'll have to keep a very close eye on that. But Selby's in a very, very comfortable position with an hour to go.
Yeah, and we just had a look at the replay there of Scott Connors. He came unstuck through the through Lesmo there, turn 7, and got a couple of wheels off onto the dirt, which unfortunately flicked him to the left, and we all know there's a big fence at the left-hand side of this track.
Yeah, and that's a very fast section for those cars through there. You're only really just dabbing the brakes to get the weight on the front of the car and turn in. So yeah, when you do lose it there, you don't get much time to recover it, that's for sure.
So we can see here Nathan, as you said, has passed Shane again. Do we know if Shane made a mistake, or was Nathan just feels like he's got the pace?
Coming out of Ascari, Shane just got a little bit iffy, and Nathan was right there with him, so Nathan just got the opportunity down to Parabolica and passed him, and he's now back in front as Shane runs wide again coming out of Ascari. So yeah, I think the GT3 battle is hopefully safely in the hands of Selby Racing. They've got a lap lead over Shane, so if they can just keep ahead of them, they should come home with the class win.
Yeah, that oh, sorry, Bernie. I was just going to say that 397 car just looks starting to get a bit loose. Maybe the tyres are starting to go off on it with Shane pushing so hard, and also a bit of aero damage on the car as we've seen most of the race. So maybe that's just affecting his driving or the handling of the car a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like we've got Mike Koroloff down in the green room for an interview, so I might bring him up. Do one of you guys want to do this interview?
Yeah, I'll let Brant do this one because I've been hogging him for the last few, so I'll let you take this one, Brant, or Bernie if you want to have a go.
Thanks, Luke. Yeah, I'll give it my crack. I'll give it a best shot if I can English properly.
Oh, sorry, just before we do that, what's the name's had a big lose?
Yeah, Nathan.
The Shelby boys. Nathan has had a huge moment, but he looked like he's kept it clean as
he has.
Yeah, might have been a little wall damage.
Yeah, he's definitely put it into the wall here. We're just going to jump back and have a look at what happened here to Nathan. Under brakes, he's turned it in. Oh, he's hit the ripple strip on the way out, and that's thrown his car sideways and straight into the tyre barrier. So he's taken the front nose in to the tyres plus clipped the back end. So just having a look, he does have front damage to that bonnet.
So what you're saying here, everyone, is I've the knockers on the Selby car.
Again, that's twice now. One more and that's it. 3 strikes, you're out.
Yeah, well, you're bad tonight, Brand. I tell you what, I'm just having a look as he's coming around now back onto the start-finish straight. The steering is slightly to the left, but not too bad, so we'll have to keep an eye on our Class C leader to see what his lap times are and whether he's going to have to get that car in. But this is going to release Shane, isn't it?
Yeah, he's still got Shane in his sights, but yeah, as you say, with that steering damage, like his last lap was a 55, but obviously he looped it last lap, so yeah, we'll see how he goes. But yeah, if I was Mike in here, I would be very worried that Brant's on the interview, because he's been putting the mockers on every team he's been talking to.
Well, that's for sure. But yeah, Brant's a bad boy in the team. But I tell you what, before we go to that interview, Nathan was extremely lucky he got away with that as lightly as he did, because if he hadn't tapped those tyres, he would have gone into that fence really hard.
Yeah, it was only minimal damage, so he was very lucky. Hopefully it's not affecting him too much. I would assume they have maybe at least still one fast repair left, so it shouldn't be too much of a longer pit stop for those guys. So it opens up Shane, but I'm not going to say any more than that at this point in time for risk of destroying his race furthermore.
Yeah, well, he had a bit of an incident coming through Parabolica. I'm not sure which car that was. We just went under yellow there temporarily. It might have been Todd Parks at 231, or he's just come in for a pit stop. Anyway, let's get this interview underway, bad boy Brent.
Alrighty, hey Michael, welcome to RRTV. No real need to say that now, but how's your race been? I see that you guys are a fair few laps down, so just what's happened there?
Oh, did you start talking about it?
Yeah.
No, we had a bit of an issue early on. We lined up with 3 drivers, but we had a driver change, and we're trying to get a 3rd driver in, and our 2nd driver, I knew he had to work, and we were hoping to get our 3rd driver in. We haven't seen him, which is a
I can only think that he didn't get the message. So we were always, unfortunately, stuck in a situation with only having 2 drivers. So I was hoping for my second driver to get home from work, and he got held back at work, and then he had major issues with his computer, and so for an hour and a half he was trying to actually just get his computer to fire up. So it left us in a situation where we only have 2 drivers, so we would probably end up being disqualified, or we will be disqualified at the end of the race. But I had to basically drive for 5.5 hours, which I did. Put 164 laps on the board, but we also had a terrible storm come through here and we lost power twice, so my computer completely crashed twice. Power in the house and everything was gone. Had for it to come back on and reboot in, and that's how we dropped our laps. But other than that, we were running at the back of the class, but 17th outright and having a pretty clean race.
Unfortunately, it's one of those races that just went from bad to worse for you guys. But you know, it's good to see you guys in the DP. You know, the more numbers we get in that car, the better. It's a fantastic car to drive, and the racing's been epic throughout the season. So, what are your thoughts on the car and, you know, the overall car track combinations that AEC have chosen so far this year?
Well, for starters, the car track combinations have been great. I've enjoyed it, and I've certainly enjoyed my time in the GT3 car. But I had a chat with Scott and asked him if it was possible for the last 2 races to switch to the DP, because I don't get an opportunity to race it anywhere really. And absolutely thoroughly enjoyed the car. It's a really good race car to drive. We did not a brilliant set, but we got it to ride the bumps pretty well. So it was very, very predictable. It's not oversteery or understeery. It's quite neutral, fast and straight line. And just from a driver's perspective, I got to say, I really enjoy the car. It's a heap of fun, and certainly the DP class, I've just been watching it, has been absolutely fantastic.
So have you guys done much testing throughout the week in the official and non-official servers with regards to, you know, cold setups or hot setups, or have you guys just focused on just a general, you know, race setup that handles well throughout the stint?
Yeah, that's actually what we've done really. Is I worked on a race setup because I'm for qualifying. I'm probably a bit older. I'm more of an amateur driver these days, I think. I just don't have the pace to be running up the front with the guys like, you know, the likes of Michael Schreier. So we went for like I said, a neutral handling car. So it really wasn't understeer or oversteer too much. Very neutral, rode the bumps well, and just worked on the race setup through the end of the week there, and got it to a point where we were happy with it. And we were like, you know, we're not slow pokes, we're not on the pace, but that's how we sort of went with it, because in 8 hours you've got to be there at the end always, but you've got to have a car that you can drive comfortably for a long period of time, and I kind of did that. 164 lap stint. I had one little spin by myself, and I nosed it into the wall early on, just over the curbs through a Scari. I copped a whack from Aaron Lee, but the guys looked at it and said it was a netcode thing, so that was a bit of a shame to turn me around. But look, other than that, it's really run faultlessly. You can make it go where you want it to go, and as the track's rubbered in, it's been an absolute delight to drive.
So how have tyre life been for you guys? Have they started to drop off towards the end, or have they just been, you know, fairly neutral throughout? Any news on that?
Look, tyre life for us has been quite good. Like I said, with the car being neutral, we've got very even tyre wear. We're only down into the 80s at the end of a run, so it probably would be possible to double stint them. But I look, knowing that we weren't going to be anywhere and there was no real need to do it, I was just happy to take new tyres, and pretty much within a lap of getting out and getting the tyres warm, I could sit comfortably on my pace and lap times and do it through the whole stint. It tended to get a little bit quicker. Obviously you have those little blips where you're letting the faster guys through and making sure you're not going to hold anyone up, or you're just getting around the slower GT cars. But in general, you can get it up to whatever your pace is for driving, and like I said, I'm not as quick as some of the other guys out there, but Yeah, you could get there, and it would hang in at those lap times basically for the entire life of the stint, which is for the fuel load, which is great. More guys,
No, it
really,
sounds
more
like
guys
got a very
should drive
smooth setup there. Luke or Bernie, do you guys have any other questions for Mike?
I was just going to agree with Mike. I think more guys should drive that car. It's a brilliant car, and I'm really hoping we see more teams take to this this car next time for the AEC, because I've had a drive of it as well, and I absolutely love that car. It's awesome.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% there, Bernie. It really is a fun car to drive. It's quick. It's you can make it edgy if you want to. All we really did was we played around with the dampers just a little bit, so they'd go over the bumps and stiffened it a little bit more than what it was from a standard setup, and just made sure that with the wing settings that we screwed it right down for maximum speed, and then played with the suspension to counteract the thing wanting to swap ends, because it was a little bit taily with very low wing settings. So we just played with the dampers and the bars to get it to where we wanted, and just a little tiny tweak on the gearing so that we weren't running out of breath if we were behind another faster car at the end of the main straight. And really that's it. We've just rolled it out of the box and driven it.
Yeah, fantastic, and that's the thing about Monza, isn't it, Mike? You've sort of got to balance that car. You need really low downforce, but then under heavy braking, you don't want this thing to swap ends, and I guess that's where the suspension tweaking's coming in.
Oh, look, absolutely. It was a little bit loose at the entry to parabolic or under brakes, and really you've got three really big stops. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, you got 4, I guess. You got 4, and so you don't want to, especially when the fuel load gets light. You don't want to have to start to be mucking around with bias or bars. So just mucking around with the slow bump and giving it that little bit of extra grip in the rear, stiffening up the bars so it made it turn in and didn't want to understeer. Really, yeah, more guys should drive it. It really is a fun car to drive.
Yeah, I'm sure as more guys try it, I think it's going to just become more popular, hopefully. But anyway, Mike, thanks so much for popping in for a chat, and best of luck for the rest of the race.
Yeah, well, we'll just circulate around now, stay out of the quick guys road, and not get involved in any other fights and upset anyone else's race, and just let Henry have a bit of fun out there while he can. Car looks good. The martini colours, I think you'd have the skin set, wouldn't you, to see it?
Yeah, no, we've got it up now. I was actually looking at the wrong car. Yeah, no, it looks really nice, the martini colours, and it really suits it too, doesn't it?
Yeah, very much so. I'd like a little bit more time to end up getting a few more paints for it, because I think it would look great in a Mercedes colour. I've actually got a Petronas version in silver and Petronas colours to release to the general public soon, and I was even thinking I might set the Americans alight and give them a Budweiser version of this sort of thing as well. So it should be good. But yeah, it does look good in the martini colours. I was quite happy with that.
Yeah, definitely. But 5.5 hours behind the wheel, you must be a bit worn out by now.
Mate, it's funny, I probably at about the 3-hour mark was thinking, oh man, this is really starting to take its toll. And then you just get into this sort of groove where you just keep driving. And I came in, I thought, I'm actually hungry. Henry will be here soon. I thought I'll just park it for a while, because 5.5 hours really is enough. And I didn't want to be a burden to anyone else there. Although I felt I was still running good lap times. So yeah, but I love my endurance racing. It's a shame we didn't have Henry and earlier and our third driver show up, and we could have been out there and still running around quite. Just watching Henry have a little spin out of a Ascari.
That's Bernie's strike, that one.
I think he must have caught some curb there, because he's obviously bent the front of it as well.
Yeah, he's just turning it around now. He kept it off the wall though.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I don't know whether that was luck or good management. I'll take the luck any day.
Yeah, it looked like he just had a bit of a bounce off a curve there and just unsettled the car.
You know what that means, don't you, Mike?
He's bent it, yes.
No, this interview's gone far too long. we're giving him the mockers now. But yeah, he's bent the front there, but he's still going around. So yeah, excellent.
I have to have a talk to Henry about bending the bloody car. That's a good paint job ruined.
It certainly is, but you know, it could be worse. So.
Yeah, yes, it could be. But anyway, all good. Look, thanks for having me on, guys. Again, thank you very much for broadcasting it. It's great for the series, and it's been a great series. And a hell of a lot of fun. I'll certainly be back next season, and I think it'll be in a DP as well. I might even talk the other OSR guys into maybe stepping up. I think they might be keen. Yeah,
it'd be great to get a few more there. I'm really optimistic about the 2016 season coming up to see where this championship goes next year, because really 2015 was their trial year, wasn't it? So onwards and upwards, as they say.
Oh, look, very much so. And you know, I spoke to them in 2014, late 2014 about it, and got to know Scott Stevens, and we did a fair bit of behind the scenes chatting with them, and they were just asking really more questions about making sure that they had all the bases covered, and really they did. And while they've been very kind and thanking us for helping them, honestly, they've gone ahead with leaps and bounds with this series, and they've done a great job. I really can't talk highly enough, and Scotty's meticulous attention to detail, and with Grant Crowe there and the boys at JFF, they've put on a great series. You can see how popular it is. We're getting, you know, I mean, I'm salivating the thought that we're going to have the Nürburgring next year, and I would surmise that racing would be working very, very hard at giving us Le Mans by the middle of the year, which, you know, add those two circuits into this sort of racing along with the circuits that we've got. How good is that going to be?
Oh, it's going to be off the hook. And with DX11 coming in next year as well, I would predict we're probably just over a year away now of hopefully getting change of today to night and that sort of thing as well. So yeah. I mean running a Le Mans 24 or something like that, or the Nürburgring 24-hour and the Spa 24-hour in amongst the rest of the endurance races. How good's that going to be? That's just, I can't wait. Next year's going to be fantastic. Certainly is. But anyway, Mike, we're getting a bit of a queue down there in the green room. We should let you go and get someone else up here to see how their race is going.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me on, boys. Great call. And again, thanks for doing the telecast. It brings it to life for everyone. And always happy to have a chat. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, you're always welcome up here, mate. It's always good fun. So that was Mike Koroloff for OSR DP. I can't believe he's done 5.5 hour stint, and this car is still circulating, but they're going to be disqualified at the end of the race because they couldn't get the third driver in. But to their credit, they're still going along there, guys.
Yeah, unfortunate that they couldn't get the third driver in, but, you know, more importantly is they're getting valuable seat time, you know, for the final round and then entering next year as well. So, you know, they'll already have their heads wrapped around the car. They can use these last two races as more a testing phase than anything. You know, come back at the start of the year and really start punching out, you know, some fast, consistent lap times, you know, being up there at the pointy end in the DP. But, you know, as Mike said, it's next year in the AEC is just looking like to be a fantastic year. It's looking like the Daytona prototype class is just going to absolutely explode in numbers, so that's only a good thing for this amazing car. And we can only hope the standards of racing we've seen this year are replicated next year, and if not, get better. So I'm very, very excited for what next year holds for the AEC and JFF. Yeah,
definitely, and it looks like we've got Trent Thomas down there. He's part of the G&T Racing. Scott Connors is actually driving that car at the moment, so let's bring him up for a chat. Hi Trent, welcome to RRTV and thanks for waiting. 8th outright at the moment. It's looking good for you guys for a top 10 finish.
Yeah, it's been quite an eventful race for us, Bernie. we've had, I think Mike's touched on it just before, there's a storm that's come through Brisbane today, so 2 of our drivers have had power outages, which has cost us quite a few laps, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's quite a few guys out there tonight that's been affected by that huge storm. We were mentioning it earlier that there was a big storm in Brisbane, and it sounds pretty wild up there, mate.
Yeah, it's funny. I was my house. We don't normally lose power here during storms, but I said that to the team. I said, "No, it's all good, fellas. I don't lose power." And about 10 minutes later, power shut off for about 20 seconds.
That's no good. Yeah, we just had Mike Koroloff up. He actually lost power as well, and had to park that car for a little while till they got power back on.
Yeah, that's basically. Luckily, Scott was hanging around. He wasn't due to jump in the car. There was about 10 laps left in my stint, and the power went off at my house. And he managed to sort of scramble, get in the car, and got us back on track as quickly as we possibly could. So we were lucky we didn't lose too much time there. And then he was in for a double. About halfway through his second stint, he lost power. And I wasn't due to jump in the car, but I had to quickly scramble and quickly jump in to take over, so we didn't really lose any time with that either, other than the obviously loss of connection as well as the tow back to the pits.
Yeah, so just let the viewers know what happens to the car when you guys lose power, because obviously all of a sudden there's no driver in that car. Does it just carry on and run into a fence, or does it actually disappear and then when you come back you just tow it to the pits?
Thankfully, no, it doesn't just continue on, so that's good for us so we don't damage the car, and it's good for the other competitors obviously, so that it doesn't, this rogue driverless car doesn't drive into everybody. Once the connection is severed, the car pretty much just disappears completely from the map, so it's a good way that iRacing got it that way. And then you just sort of, once you get back into the server, you can just wait for the tow back to the pits and jump back in the car and carry on.
Yeah, that is good. It's a bit like, when the guys get a disconnect because of poor internet connection. It's exactly like that.
Yeah, basically it's exactly the same. It's literally like you've instantly just pulled the plug, and and that's basically what happens.
Well, that's fortunate, because I could imagine with all those outages we would have had quite a lot of yellows as everyone timed out and ran into walls and things like that.
Exactly. I think when mine went, I was actually halfway through turn one, basically pointing at the wall. So had that continued on, it just would have gone straight in the wall and damaged our car. So damage-wise as well for our car, we're actually going pretty well. These HPDs seem to be pretty fragile. Curbs you've got to be careful on. Some of them you can really get away with jumping over, and others the slightest little touch and it damages the aero, and you lose about 7 or 8 kilometres an hour down the straights, which is basically what happened to us at the beginning of the race. We can't seem to get much luck in these AEC events. We get into trouble in the beginning and lose a lot of time, and then when we can't really claw that back, unfortunately.
Yeah, it makes it hard, especially with the sort of calibre of drivers you're competing against out there. We have noticed a lot of HPDs having damage. It almost appears like they damage a floor pan, because all of a sudden you lose 8 kilometres, but from the outside the car doesn't look damaged. So I'm assuming it's just the aero and the floor pan getting a bit of an issue there with the way you get downforce or something.
Yeah, I think that's what it seems to be like. So it just seems to be like that. You can't really see any damage on the outside of the car, but it's whatever it is. It's only a quick repair actually. It's only about 10 seconds to fix the damage, but it's enough to upset the aero a fair bit.
Yeah, so I guess you also saw Scott just giving a little push there. I think that was Matt Nade that he was having a run in with there.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like he just lost the rear end coming in the brakes. You have to apply the brakes a second grab at the brake pedal, I think, which these cars don't tend to like when the car's loaded fairly heavily in a corner and you hit the brakes again. The back end just wants to slide out.
Yeah, well, I'm going to hand you over to the other guys. I've got Luke Emerton up here, Brent Tucker. Now, be warned, I'm the nice guy up here, and you can work out which one's a bad one out of those two.
Thanks, Bernie.
Hang on, you already made him hit another rough, so that's a strike for you, Bernie, not for Brent. Stop trying to blame other people up here. Alright, Brent, go on, take it away.
Alrighty, anyway, back down to business here, and no shenanigans. So yeah, how's, apart from, you know, the power outages, how's the race gone for you guys traffic-wise, apart from that one small run-in with the roof? Have you had any major incidents apart from that, or has it just been generally pretty clean?
It's generally been pretty clean. We got treated like a bit of a pinball in the first few laps, the first stint or so, I guess. Scott had a bit of a hard time with some of the HPDs, as well as lapped HPDs getting in the way, and that's what caused us a fair bit of damage early on. We're about 3 seconds a lap off the pace. Hindsight, we probably should have pitted, get the damage fixed, but we chose to finish the stint. We probably shouldn't have done that. But otherwise, I think pace-wise, we've probably had enough to be probably 5th place. But I don't think we have the pace really to go any quicker than that. But most of the traffic's actually been quite good. You catch it in awkward places sometimes, but they're usually leaving you space as long as you show them the respect, they show you respect back.
So with testing, I've asked a lot of other guys this, but with regards to, you know, the tracks was started at 46 degrees, so that's a fairly considerably high temperature and a very hot and slippery track. Did you guys do much testing for, you know, hot tracks as to cold tracks, or was it the opposite, or how do you guys go about approaching that?
We had done some running. Probably the highest track temperature, to be honest, was maybe the mid to high 30s, so we weren't expecting anything quite as high as we had at the beginning of the race, and I think that sort of hindered us a little bit as well. We had a pretty consistent set and it felt fairly quick, but yeah, this weather sort of threw us a curveball, and we had to try and make a few last minute changes towards the end of qualifying, and some of the changes were actually made and not tested, so I think it's worked out fairly okay considering we did get to test some of the setup changes that were made.
Unfortunately, that's the nature of the beast here. Luke or Bernie, do you guys have any other questions for Trent at all?
No, yeah, pretty much covered everything there, and looks like the boys are doing a pretty good job. So will Scott stay in? Apparently, we've heard from other teams that the HPDs can pretty much make it on fuel now, I think, after their last stop. So you'll keep Scott in the car, will he be finishing off the race?
Yeah, Scott will be staying in the car. Unfortunately, we're a little bit off sequence because of the outages that we had, so we still need to pit probably for another 20 kilos of fuel. We're about 15 minutes short of fuel at this stage, so unfortunately we're going to have to make another splash and put some tyres on it to get home.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Yeah, there's a few teams that are a bit tight on fuel, so we're looking forward to the last half hour or so. It should be quite a close contest.
Yeah, we're just happy to have made it to the end of this one. Previous race, I don't think we had a very good result, so yeah, just happy to get here and finish, even though we're a few laps down to where we'd ideally like to be. But it's those guys at the front are just setting an incredible pace.
Yeah, it's a good experience for all the drivers involved too to be out there and turning laps. There's no real downside really to just rotating around, even if you are a little bit behind of where you wanted to be. It's always good to get seat time in the cars as well.
Yeah, exactly, and there's always plenty going on with the multi-class this is. There's always a car pretty much around that you need to try and get by, and it certainly spices things up sometimes, where and how you catch them and how many you get all at once. So yeah, we're a little bit disappointed with the pace that we've shown over the last couple of races. We've actually haven't had our setup guru on board. He's had real life commitments going on, so he's on holidays now, so we hopefully into VIR we'll have him on board and we'll get the setup going, and hopefully we'll be back on the pace. But I think the quality of field that we've had join this series. I think there was only about 6 or 7 HPDs in round 1, so that's definitely grown out for this race in particular. There's a few entries, and they're all high quality drivers and outfits. So yeah, good job to all the guys that are circulating at the moment.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Is there any shout-outs you want to do before we let you go quickly?
Yeah, cheers. Shout out to you guys up here giving up your time on a Sunday night to give the viewers at home something to watch, and Monster Designs and to quickbeds.com. They're our team sponsors. Quickbeds.com, grassroots code 1564 for booking accommodation. Thanks a lot.
No worries, thanks a lot, Trent, and good luck with the rest of your proceedings tonight.
Alright, thanks guys.
Yeah, so that was Trent Thomas. They're running 8th at the moment for G&T Racing. I'll tell you what, Luke, we're starting to get a bit of a queue down here for interviews, aren't we? So before we get into that, I think I'll just let the viewers know where the top 3 of each class is. We're down to 31 minutes. So leading the way is Sam Sutton for Dayco Motorsport, number 147. They've completed now 253 laps. This car has led for 238 of those laps. Second at the moment is Josh Burden for GT Omega. These guys, the race has definitely come to them tonight. They haven't led a lap yet, but they're definitely a force to be reckoned with 31 seconds. All it's going to take is a safety car, and these guys are going to be right into that race. And again, the 145 Dayco Motorsports, Reece Gardner behind the wheel of that car, in 3rd position. And that car, it's pretty much led for 12 laps. So if we look at the breakdown in Class A, Redback Racing led for 3 laps. The 145 Dayco Motorsport led for 12 laps. And then the 147 has led for 238 laps. So they're the only cars that have led a lap around here in Class A.
That's amazing statistics there, Bernie. Definitely a dominant performance with that amount of laps led, and certainly not, you wouldn't say they're doing it hard, but not easy as such, being that they've obviously got to keep on their toes passing all these other cars in the multiclass series. So yeah, but definitely doing a good job out in front there. Just obviously got a very, very good drive lineup there, and also just keeping it on the black stuff.
Yeah, definitely, and even though they've been leading so much, as you said, the traffic can throw us a curveball to those guys. Looking at Class B at the moment, the number 22 SDC Motorsports, and we've got Marty Carroll down there. We'll bring him up for an interview very shortly. Is leading Class B. They've been pretty dominant out there for at least all night tonight, and probably half the afternoon. So they're leading the way over the number 230. Now the 230 is 1 lap down, and that's got Michael Schreier behind the wheel, and Michael's put in a lot of hours behind the wheel there tonight, it must be said, and I don't know how they do it, but 3rd in class is the 227 TD Racing. Tim Ballinger is in that car. He's actually swapped. He was the 2nd TD Racing car, but unfortunately the 217 was involved in a very big incident at the restart earlier tonight, which has pretty much ended their chances of a good finish. But at least their sister car there is in the top 3 for Class B.
Very Benny. Yeah, it's an amazing job by some of these drivers with the hours that they're putting in at the moment, all across the field.
Oh yeah, they're putting in a lot of hours driving here tonight, and I guess some of it could be because of those storms, and another one is because they could be crazy. But anyway, they're doing a great job out there. Looking at Class C, Class C is being led at the moment by Selby Racing Team. Hayden Burns is back behind the wheel there. Nathan was in there earlier and he was having a good battle there with Shane Van Gisbergen. But that car is one lap up at the stage over their competitor, the 397, which isn't too far down the track, but they're a lap down, and Scott Fountain is now in that car to do his second stint. And then third is Blackadder Motorsport with Robin Rosenvinge behind the wheel. Now that's a 367, and they've been in the top 3 or 4 pretty much all day as well. So great race there for Blackadder Motorsport.
Yeah, it's good to see those guys doing well. They have had both their BMWs actually running pretty close together all night, as we saw earlier on in the proceedings. So they've obviously got a nice solid setup under there, and just rotating around nicely through the field and keeping it, again, just another one of those teams just consistently running and keeping out of trouble.
Yeah, that's right, and there's quite a few cars down there that you could say possibly in trouble, many laps down, but to the credit of everybody here, there was only one retirement, and that was a Tryhards car earlier this afternoon, and they retired due to repair issues with that car. There was some sort of glitch that didn't allow them to repair the car or something, so they had to retire. But everyone else there has been battling storms in Queensland and blackouts, and to their credit, they're all continuing, even though it's they've seen quite adverse conditions during their racing today.
Yeah, that's it. We don't have real time weather yet, as such, rain and stuff in the sim, but definitely, obviously, in real life, it can play a massive part when you are sim racing. That's something that doesn't exactly have a factor on real life racing as such.
Yeah, that's right. And if there's a car out that epitomises that sort of feeling, it has to be the OSR DP car. Mike Koroloff drove this car for 5.5 hours. He went through a number of blackouts. Their second driver couldn't turn up for this race, which means they're going to be disqualified when they finish. But to their credit, they're continuing on some 66 laps down and having a great time out there, and Henry King is behind the wheel of that car at the moment, so big shout out to that team tonight.
Yeah, as you said, it's just such a fun car to drive, and I know I did about 40 odd laps in it last night, just having a bit of a run around in my own one, and it is, you can just drive it for hours, just have a bit of fun, and obviously in a race like this, even though you are a few laps down like that, it's good he's still battling here, as I can see the Simpic car just overtaking the 32 there, and he's just out there going around, and still fun overtaking all the GT3 cars, so yeah, plenty to do out there.
Certainly is, and we might bring Marty Carroll up now. He's one of the drivers for SDC Motorsports and the leader of Class B, and it's probably your turn to take the interview, Luke.
Yes, an old boss of mine. He used to do a bit of running for SDC, so it should be good to catch up with him, actually.
Yeah, well, don't give him any cheek, will you? Well, then again, you can if you want, if he's your old boss.
Yeah, that's it. Evening, Marty, and welcome to the RRTV commentary booth. Here with me and Bernie. Brent's just stepped out for a bit. How's your race going this evening, mate? Leading Class B, with Ethan doing a great job in there, making the transition from the V8 supercar into the DP.
Yeah, definitely. Ethan's doing a great job. He's definitely struggling behind the wheel, so to speak, physically after a big night out last night. So he had a bit of a nap this afternoon, and definitely he's feeling okay. A few Baroccas, and he's going to bring it home for us. But I have to thank Michael Cracknell on an awesome job and helping me get the car up to speed and doing the first half of the race with us, definitely a great strategy call early on in the race, put us in a situation where we were able to take advantage of that later on due to the second safety car, which allowed us to then get a lap advantage on the second place SSR car, Michael Schreier and Reece Gardner and those boys. So it was nice to get a step up on them.
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird situation, that second one I think it was, or the third one where we had a double in the space of a lap, and yeah, a lot of teams took a good advantage of that, and as you say, with strategy playing out in your hands and being able to put a lap on second place, Ethan's out there now just being able to circulate the car and not do anything too silly, and hopefully get a win for you guys later on.
Yeah, definitely. Hats off to the SSR boys. They've been the class of the DP field all season and definitely had the car to win today. But we utilised the first safety car to take fuel and tyres, and that put us on an alternate strategy, and in turn put us in the track position we're required for when the following safety car come out. It was just lucky enough the lead HPD had already passed them, but hadn't passed us yet, so we were able to loop around to the back of the pack, and they were caught behind the safety car. So it was sort of reverse roles, where we got caught out ourselves last round at Spa in the same situation, and we actually got caught out with it, and that put us a lap down, and then the next safety car we were in the same situation. So once you sort of get put on that back foot, it's quite hard to recover, but no, it was definitely nice to get a leg up on them this time.
Yeah, it's good to see, and it seems to be bringing out some really good racing tonight with different classes as well. And during your stint, how'd you find traffic and everything else? Also, we've heard from a few drivers the tyre wear creating a bit of understeer with the hot weather later on in the stints. How is it for you guys in that setup?
Oh, we're perfect, yeah. No, we got no dramas with it, and wasn't really the track temperature that was an issue. It was the clear skies. Everyone's going 44 degrees, this and that. It's like, well, it can be 44 degrees and overcast, and it'll be grippy as hell. So the clear skies allow the sun to beam down on the track, which makes it greasy, So, but as it's rubbered in, it's actually cooled the track off. So the track's actually come to us. It's gotten better and better. We haven't had any problems. Actually, car feels a lot better now than it did at the beginning of the race.
Yeah, I think before someone was saying it dropped about 4 degrees and felt a lot better as it rubbered in, as you say. So it's a good thing. And with that car now, even looking like he'll do the last of his 15 minutes or so, we've got 17 minutes, and you guys have done your final pit stops and everything for the evening.
Yeah, with the safety car, we were able to make sure that we had enough fuel in it to run it. I had to fuel save a little bit on that stint. It was quite funny, as where we had all the DP cars were all around me, yet we were a lap up on them all. So it was like, some wise advice from crackers was to let them go and just worry about our own race and not get caught in unnecessary battles, and save some fuel, make sure we got to our fuel window to make it to the end, and we've done that, and Ethan was feeling well enough to bring it home.
Yeah, those safety cars definitely make it interesting with the pack being all jumbled up with GT3 cars running up near the front of the safety car restarts, and we had a few boys checking up, which caused that massive pile up about an hour ago or so. So yeah, it's
I don't know whenever green ever went anywhere in the world.
Yeah, it was
green plate comes out, everyone's need to put their right foot down and just hold their line. The faster cars will do what they want. They'll go around you and stuff. But it's sort of, a lot of this and the multi-class racing, it's all new to everyone. New for the guys organising it. Big shout out to Scotty and the boys over there. For what they've done. But it's all. All the teething problems will be out this year, and like Bernie was saying earlier, I think everyone's really looking forward to 2016 and, implement everything we've learned from this year, from organisers to teams and drivers individually, and how to apply yourself to go endurance racing, because it's a whole different mindset, the way you've got to approach it, to have a clean car after 7 hours, 35 minutes, that puts you in the ballpark to compete for the win. want to race a sprint race, and you go run somewhere else, or you're not going to be around at the end of the endurance races. So. But I think everyone's definitely gotten a lot better, and the teams and drivers themselves would continually grow and get better.
That's it. No, as I mentioned to Bernie before, he hadn't really heard of Ethan too much, but watching a fair bit of the V8's America Series and that lately, and Ethan's doing a good job up front there for SDC and the V8 supercars. So I was saying to Bernie, it was good to see his transition over to the Corvette and some GT racing as such, and a bit of enduro for him. He's been a good signing for you guys since starting on with the team, and obviously paying dividends here now as well in the longer races as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's always something he wanted to do. When he first come across the team, he was always interested in the endurance racing side of things. Obviously, the V8 supercar was his initial passion, and he's really applied himself to that. Being back-to-back V8 supercar champ, and is gunning for a third title this season. So, definitely next year we'll probably schedule a little bit better, so he's going to be available for a few more endurance races because it is something he enjoys, and I think we all do, but it's different. So like you say, you approach it differently. It's a different mindset, and you got responsibility of your teammate sitting there yelling at you. So you don't want to bin it. You don't want to make a mistake. Because not only are you going to feel bad about it, you got 3 other guys that are going to frown upon you. So that's we definitely enjoy the team camaraderie side of the endurance racing.
Yeah, no worries. And also having the team boss driving in the same car, you've obviously got to be a bit careful as well. So is there before we let you go, we'll ask Bernie or Brent if they got any other questions for you, and leave it there.
No more questions?
No, nobody? No? Okay, any shout-outs?
Pretty good on my end.
No, awesome guys. Well, I'll let you call the rest of the race. Big thanks to RRTV, awesome broadcast once again.
Yeah, no worries, Marty. It's great to have you up here as always, and congratulations. With 15 minutes to go, you're a lap up. I'm not putting the mockers on yous, but I look forward to you guys bringing that car home in first for Class B tonight.
Yeah, thanks again, Marty, for that interview, and the SDC boys again. Wasn't too hard on the old boss there. He's not a bad bloke. So well, hopefully, as you say, Bernie, that Simpic car's out by a full lap, and looks like Ethan will do a good job bringing it home. And congrats on him as well for the V8's championships that he's done. And he is fighting pretty hard for this third one in a row. So we'll see how he goes once he gets back in it for what will be probably tomorrow night as well if he runs in that. So Yeah, and
we're just going to follow their car around here. For the viewers, just have a look at the way this track is rubbered in through these S's. It's from the chopper cam here. The track is absolutely black, and you can really see where that rubber's laid down and lowered this temperature, as Marty was saying.
Oh no, this is heartbreak for the second TD racing car, Bernie. Tim Ballinger's just lost connection. They were battling with one performance for the final position on the podium in Class B, so unfortunately the internet woes have continued for Tim and the people down in Brisbane, and he's just dropped connection.
Yeah, well, no doubt that's to do with the storms that are getting up there. I know Tim is up in, I think, Brisbane area. So it looks like we've had another victim to blackouts up there. Let's hope one of their teams, if they're listening, can jump in and get that car going.
Looks as though Tim Schweck has just jumped in. He's just waiting for the tow time to go down, I'm guessing. So it's unfortunate for them, but an extremely lucky break for the one performance racing car 243 that hasn't had any luck at all this race.
Yeah, with 13 minutes to go, that's the last thing you want, isn't it, to lose connection. But as we can see, Timothy Schweck now just coming out in that car. Just trying to see, let's have a look at those positions at the moment. So at the moment we've got Ethan leading the way, 1 lap up. Then Michael Schreier is in second. Looks like the 243 Joe Burkett's going to inherit third position, and then Timothy Schweck is just trying to keep a lap ahead of him, ahead of Joe there, who's not far behind. Yeah, that's really bad news for TD Racing.
Yeah, so unfortunate to run so well all race and then have something like that happen, but I guess it's the equivalent to in real life racing as some sort of electrical fault or something in the car from running for so long. And as I said earlier, in sim racing you get all different types of issues that are different to real world at the moment, but hopefully those guys up there can sort out for the last 15 minutes or so, or not even 9 minutes now as we stand. Yeah,
and I know this is a sim, and compared to real racing, we have different issues here, but I think Murphy's Law still applies as heartbreakingly as it would in real life, where instead of having a $2 piece end your race, it's the internet. So, at the moment we've got Sam Sutton in the lead. Josh Burden's now second. He's 48 seconds down. He really needs a safety car to get into this race. And Reece Gardner is currently sitting in third. So it's looking good for Dayco tonight. Redback Racing's one lap down and they're sitting in fourth position tonight. And must be said, the race hasn't really gone their way tonight with a number of incidents. But to their credit, they're still out there in fourth position. Looking, we haven't looked at the Class C cars for a while. We've got Hayden Burns leading that. He's a lap up, and he's leading the 397 of Scott Fountain in second. You can see him in the background there. And then the 367 Blackadder is in third. Fourth position is the 334 Troy Hudds Racing 4 with Brett Woods behind the wheel, and then fifth in that class is Simon Black for Oceanic Sim Racing. So yeah, it's looking good. The only car they're battling with on the same lap is the Redback. Oh, look at this. Under caution.
Speak of the devil, Bernie, yellow flag's just been thrown, so this will definitely bring Burden right back into the mix, as you just said. Also the other Dayco car as well.
Yeah, it looks like we had a car in the fence somewhere that wasn't able to be moved under its own steam, so they've called it out.
Yeah, we're just going to the overlay here to see what caused that, and the cars are definitely moving. I'll just have a look at race control. Yeah, there was a car stuck, so that's confirming from race control. Safety car called because the car could not move. Let's see if we can find which car it was. Have a look at the 211 first. He's got a number of off tracks there, so that's the Try Hards one. Nathan Connor, the 332. Let's see if we can see what's caused this. Yeah, it was the 332, confirmed from race control, so we'll stay with this and have a look how their race come undone, guys. Yeah, again, one of those Triad Racing boys in the roughs just having a totally bad luck run tonight with their roughs, and as I said before, a rough night in the rough. But yes, just having a look at replay myself at the moment, and that car's already beat up as it is, so unfortunately he's finished it off by the look of it this time. Yeah, he's looped at a parabolica and sitting facing the wrong way, and wasn't going to go anywhere, so that's brought out the safety car. But as I said, you know, some guys out there needed a safety car, didn't they? Yeah, and you've the mockers on the safety car as soon as you've said it's come out, so don't see how we go. Well, at least the safety car hasn't crashed yet. If we're at, that's true. If we're at Bathurst, it would have crashed a number of times by now, but at the moment we've got Sam Sutton shadowing that safety car. Josh Burden is a long way down though. He's right at the end of that queue, so I don't think he's going to get anywhere near Sam at this stage on this restart. And looking for Reese. It looks like Reese has just done a pit stop. And he's probably in the best position on this restart to try to snatch second away from GT Omega at this stage.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, an unfortunate night for the brigade from Tryhard, but, that team can certainly keep their heads held high with an awesome effort from Tryhard's Racing Force, sitting in currently 4th in class, so, that's a stellar effort by them, that car and those guys in the car, can certainly hold their heads high. Hasn't been an easy night for the team in general, but to have one car within the top 5, that's at least something to smile about. And on nights like this, you got to take the positives out of the negatives anyway.
Oh, definitely, and they've still got 3 cars in this race, and the 337's still out there. It's had a pretty poor run, but beat up, but it's still going to its credit. The 334, I think that's their other car. Brett Woods is behind the wheel of that car, so they've got a lot to be proud of, and we've got 6 minutes to go in this race. That 332 will no doubt get repaired and come out and finish this race tonight. So they've got a lot to be proud of there.
Yeah, I was just thinking, Bernie, this might finish on a safety car actually, being that there's only 3 minutes and a bit left. They'll probably only get 2 laps in, so it might go in for a 1-lap dash, I'm not sure.
It's interesting, my overlays, and I'm checking Joel's real timing software, it's actually telling us, and I'll bring that up, that we've got 6 minutes of racing to go, 6 minutes 7 seconds, or 3.9 laps if we weren't under safety car. So you're probably right, we'll probably get 1, maybe 2 laps in under green.
Yeah, I think it's because it's the elapsed time, and I believe it would include their pacing lap for the start of the race, which is probably at least a minute or so.
Okay. Alright, well, either way, there's not a lot left in this race, but we're looking at Reese Gardner at the moment. He's just trying to see where he's positioned compared to Josh. He's just catching up to the end of the queue now, and he's just trying to see here, probably about 10 cars away, so I don't think he's going to be able to close up either under this safety car.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for him. He's got a few cars in between, and if it's a 1-lap dash, he's going to be very unlikely that he's going to get up to him.
Yeah, that's right. So, just listening to, there's a lot of banging going around in my apartment here tonight. I'm not sure what that is. Probably the neighbours, but anyway. So, the lights are out. 4 minutes to go in this great race tonight, and Sam Sutton is leading the way.
Yeah, there's a bit of chatter amongst the drivers, just trying to work out who's going to get out of the way for who on the restart and what races are for what. So should be quite interesting if it does go green. Safety car lights are off, so we're going to get probably 2 flying laps in, Bernie. Yeah,
so in Class A, the race is between Josh Burden and Reese Gardner. Looking at Class B at the moment, we've got Ethan is a lap up, but Michael Schreier, just having a look if he's on the same lap as Joe Burkett. I don't think he is, so those positions are looking pretty safe for Class B. Class C might be a different story. Let's have a look. Hayden Burns is leading by a lap. We've got Scott Fountain. Yeah, and again, Scott's got 2 laps up on Robin, so just the battle will be keep an eye on Reese Gardner and Josh Burden. So it's going to be a 1-lap dash, and as we are riding with Reese here, you can see he's pretty keen. He's just showing his side to Nathan there, or to the Selby entry, leader of Class C. and no doubt he's going to throw everything he can at this restart, but it's a tall order, it must be said.
Ready, green flag.
Yeah, definitely as they get the green flag now, and fields off probably for what their last lap is, and somebody's just net coated out of there. All of a sudden, a massive contact somewhere on my screen, and just behind Reese as he comes into the final corner. Oh, sorry, the first corner. There's a big pile up again. Lots of cars almost stopped again.
And Reese is threading the needle. He's chosen. Oh, he's hit a couple of cars there. He chose a middle lane there.
Yeah, there was a GT Omega car got out of the way there, I think the BMW. Now he's stuck in behind another BMW here. Reese, he's charging through. He's just... Oh, this is again in tears, I can see it now.
Yeah, I tell you what, he's not holding prisoners, is he? He's just weaving.
Oh, he's further back as well, sorry Bernie.
Yeah, and cars are going everywhere here. 1 minute 58 on my screen. As we're riding with Reese Gardner here, he's coming around to pass another HBD. Then he's got the Blackadder BMW in front of him.
Yeah, he's got past those two pretty cleanly, and up to the next one in line. There's a couple of prototypes in front of him.
He's going to get through these pretty quickly as long as they stay and hold their line. They're pretty hard to pass though.
Yeah, that's right. Top speed's very similar. Oh, he's going to split too.
Yeah, he's definitely pushing. I think he's going to get another lap. I'm not sure what that gap is at the moment. It's about 5 seconds up to Josh Burden at this point in time.
BMW next, OSR one in front. It's dispatched of that pretty quickly. Might even try and go real deep under brakes here. He's decided to leave it, and he'll get him probably into the next braking zone maybe.
Yeah, and you can see Josh Burden up ahead there in the traffic, and Reese is definitely trying to cut through this traffic to get his hands on that car, the GT Omega, ahead of him, 4 seconds down the track with 34 seconds of this race to go. It's a hell of a tall order, isn't it?
Yeah, he's getting blocked here. No, not really blocked, but the Tryhards racing car, Porsche, had nowhere to go there. He's just had to take a normal racing line. That's held him up a little bit. Got some dust in front of him. A few people running wide, really pushing hard on these last couple of laps.
It was a much tamer restart than I first originally anticipated, but you know, Reese is still pushing hard. They're only just up the road there, so.
Yeah, 3.8 seconds, the gap from Reese.
Ooh.
Oh man, but I tell you what, the white flag is out. Let's jump to Sam Sutton for Dayco Motorsports, number 147. Comes around Parabolica for the last time to take the checkered flag here tonight at Monza for the 8-hour Australian Endurance Championship. Josh Burden's going to hold on to second in Class A. Great result there for GT Omega. And then gutsy drive there by Reese Gardner to come home third in Class A. Ethan Grigg Galt for SDC Motorsport takes out Class B, followed by Michael Schreier in the Osram entry, and Joe Burkett. And we can see cars doing donuts are all happy to get to the end. And Joe Burkett for One Performance Racing comes home third in Class B, so well done to those guys. Class C, we can see Hayden Burns just coming across the line now to take the checkered flag, and one lap up the Selby team wins, followed by ANZ Motorsports with Scott Fountain behind the wheel of that car. The number 397 comes home in second, and third, well done to Blackadder Motorsports, number 367 with Robin Rosenvinge behind the wheel of that car.
Yeah, great racing by the boys tonight, and well done to all the podium teams there, and some great racing throughout those 8 hours, and I'm sure they'll be looking forward next week. Sorry, not next week, but the next round at VIR. I think they said it was. So yeah, definitely some chopping and changing of positions tonight by everyone, and but all in all, pretty clean race, and hopefully definitely bring some more interest from our viewers. And we've got up to 24 viewers now, I see, Bernie. So obviously we're doing something right up here for 8 hours to have some people watching.
Yeah, that's right. I'm hoping the viewers are really enjoying this as we see Sam Sutton doing his donuts. And another good thing coming in the next release is when he does those donuts after the next release, we might actually see some smoke, which might actually make it look a little less silly. But anyway, well done to Dayco Motorsport. First and third tonight. Big effort. Now looking ahead, the VIR, I think that's going to be a 10-hour endurance race if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
VIR is indeed a 10-hour race, so it will be Daytona prototype round. That'll be very interesting.
Oh. Not wrong, mate. Especially that last roller coaster section there will be very, very interesting.
Yeah, I'm predicting a big dramas there, because that's a pretty tough track to race at the best of times, and a 10-hour enduro around there, I reckon that's going to be very trying on all the teams to survive that race.
Yes, it'll be very difficult, that's for sure, but that's why it's the season finale, so it should be good.
It certainly should be, and I'm not sure of the date when that's coming, but when it does, we will be there and we will be covering that race as well. As we can see, Hayden Burns, Class C winner, celebrating in style in the Selby car and doing what Van Gisbergen made a big thing, putting the car in the nose and revving the crap out of it.
Yeah, one of the only ways you can do burnouts in those Porsches, they seem to be pretty grippy, so he has to try everything he can.
It just looks a bit funny. He's sitting there revving and there's no smoke or anything coming out of the car.
No.
Yeah, it's far better seeing donuts, Hayden, so keep those up. That's good.
Yes, indeed, quite funny. I'm going to have to run, boys, before we start these other driver interviews. We've got an early start tomorrow. Apparently one of our Formula Fords had a bit of a getting together at Phillip Island this afternoon, so I've got to turn that car around for Thursday, and so it looks like an early start for me tomorrow. So thanks for letting me up here in the broadcast, and I dare say I'll be with you at some point for that 10-hour one. I was thinking of running a car, possibly, but I think I might be a bit safer up here for the last round.
No, I reckon go and run it, Luke, and then we'll cross to you live or something and listen to you sweating out there. But yeah, thanks for coming in today and helping out with the broadcast. It's been fantastic having you up here co-commentating with myself, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries, mate. And in that time, I still managed to cook dinner and put the Christmas lights up. So all good. Doesn't take up much time at all.
Oh, you're a star all round. Anyway, enjoy your early start tomorrow and get that Formula Ford fixed for Thursday, mate.
No worries, boys, and have a good call with the interviews, and I'll talk to you soon anyway.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, Brant, it's just you and me, mate. We've got a few people coming in for interviews. I'm thinking we might bring Nathan Hapatz up, and if we see his co-drivers join him, we'll bring them up for an interview as well.
Sure.
Hi Nathan, welcome to RRTV's commentary box, and congratulations taking out Class C tonight. Fantastic drive by you guys.
Thank you guys, we are super pumped. We are 2 seconds before this, and we had a good setup, and we're really pumped, really pumped.
Yeah, you're definitely in a big battle in there earlier tonight with Shane Van Gisbergen trying to get a lap back. I was really worried that it was going to end in tears, but you guys did well.
I think Hayden's down there in the green room as well. Here we go. Yeah, no, we had a bit of a battle there, and we were putting down some pretty quick lap times when we were chasing each other there for a while, so that was good fun.
Yeah, it definitely was. I was just hoping that there wasn't going to be a coming together between you guys, but there wasn't, which was great. But you guys did really well tonight. You pretty much lapped the whole field, at least putting the second car down one lap, but all the others a lot more than that. And that's quite a dominant performance there by the Selby team. So congratulations to you guys.
Yeah, cheers, and yeah, great job by Hayden. He drove have 3 or 4 stints, I think, at least today, and it was good that all 3 of us had pretty much the same pace during the race. We just had a great solid setup and worked well as a team, and strategy went our way. Pit stops and safety cars went our way for once, which is good. So yeah, we had the pace during the week in practice, and it was just really good to put it all together.
Yeah, definitely, and it was a great drive, and well done, Hayden. We're watching you doing those donuts. I tell you what, though, they're going to look more spectacular once iRacing releases smoke on the tyres.
Yeah, I know. I can see a bunch of smoke coming off my tyres, but no one else can.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. You're sitting there revving it up against the fence, and I couldn't even see the tyres spinning.
Ah, well, that's disappointing.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, pretty much was. I was laughing, but anyway, it was a good way to see you guys celebrate. And I tell you what, it must feel good after 8 hours around Monza to be taking out Class C.
It feels pretty good to get the monkey off our back in general, I think. You know, we've been pressuring for a win for a while now in this series. Just had some bad luck and some things not go away and stuff like that. So to get the monkey off our back and in that sort of fashion, you know, to come back and, like you said, Bernie, just, I don't want to say dominate, but I mean, yeah, we were dominant. Our car was awesome.
Yeah, well, it was a good comeback by you guys because earlier in the day there was a few issues there, but you guys put your head down, and to your credit, you actually came back and not only took the lead, but took it by a lap. So well done. Good comeback drive by your team for sure.
Yeah, well, that middle portion of the race has to go credit to Gary. I hope he's listening. You know, I can't talk. Gary's drive there in the middle was just fantastic, full of pace, mistakes. You know, he didn't say much over the radio. He knew what we had to do to get back in the race, and he just went out and did it.
Yeah, Gary Hamilton did a fantastic drive there in his stint, and I tell you what, he had the pace, didn't he? He was flying. So, yeah, well done to Gary as well, who's hopefully listening to the end of this broadcast. But, yeah, are you guys going to celebrate tonight, or are you going to go to bed and get up early to go to work?
Well, Formula One's on, so we've got to go see Nico win another one, for sure. And then I'll probably sleep all day and get up after midday tomorrow because I'm on holidays now.
Yeah, I think I'll be having a quiet beer, watching the Formula One, and taking it easy.
Let me guess, are you on bloody holidays as well, Nathan?
No. I'll be up at work in the morning. It's a busy time of year for us.
Yeah, me too. It's flat out at work at the moment. But anyway, let's get back to this racing. We're going to pass you over to Brent Tucker here, who's our co-commentator tonight, to see if he's got any questions for you guys.
No, I'm pretty good, Bernie. How'd the car handle, you know, throughout the stints, though, towards the end of the race with the, you know, fairly up-rubber track?
Do you want this one, Nathan?
Yeah, look, I had a stint early on and another one later, and really didn't notice much of a difference, actually. We probably noticed more of a difference in bar with that setup, but I think it was probably setup specific. This setup that we had was really consistent through the whole race. We only made one tyre pressure change in the rear early on after our first 2 stints, and it was good. Yeah, it understeered maybe a tiny bit into a couple of corners, but it was still predictable, and the setup was good, so it didn't really affect us too much.
I think that's pretty much it for me, Bernie, you know.
No worries, it sounds like you're half asleep there, Mr. Tucker. But anyway, well done, Hayden and Nathan. Before we let you go, do you want to give a shout out to your sponsors tonight?
Yeah,
I'll do.
You go, Hayden, yeah.
My one, obviously we want to give a shout out to Sean and Selby and all that, but I mean, mine's a bit more personal in that. Obviously, like I said earlier in the broadcast, I have a massive thanks, Sean, for helping me source this T500 and get it up and running and that sort of stuff when my G27 died. So I know, Sean, you're not actually listening, but I hope you watch it back, because seriously, I'm just so thankful. Selby.com.au for any hi-fi gear and that sort of stuff. I have a couple of friends that are still watching, so to those guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting Bernie and RRTV, because they do a fantastic job. And that's it for me.
And a quick shout out to Chris, who did some spotting for us today as well. Thanks, mate.
Fantastic. We'll go and open that beer and the Horlicks or whatever you young people drink, and enjoy the Formula One. Well done.
Thanks, Bernie.
I drink apple juice, Bernie.
Apple juice. Okay, enjoy your apple juice.
I will. Thanks, Bernie.
So that was the winners of Class C, folks. Now, having a look down there, we've got, boy, I'm trying to work out the teams these guys are in. We've got Josh Burden down there, so we'll bring Josh up. He was driving for GT Omega, and he did a fantastic job as well. Hi Josh, welcome to RRTV. Before we start the interview, is there any of your teammates in the green room down there?
Not anymore, I just moved up.
Fantastic. So we've got Brock Kramer here, Josh Burden for GT Omega, and congratulations on taking second in Class A. Good effort.
Yeah, geez, after about 3 hours in the race was a lap down and in seventh, so to come back, to get our lap back, which we only got it back due to some unfortunate circumstances for the 147, when they had a bit of a car contact and they had a drive through. So anyway, you'll get it back however it happens, and to finish second, we worked out some fuel strategy and it seemed to work. So all good. We was a bit worried there when the last caution came out. We was hoping there wasn't going to be a bit of a crash like there was a couple of cautions to go, but we just took it easy and it ended out all good.
Yeah, I was wondering whether you would have thought the caution was a blessing or a curse there for you, and I guess we were looking at it, and it was going to be very hard for you to catch Sam, but we're keeping a close eye on Reese, and I tell you what, he was cutting his way through that field. He wasn't holding anything back. Were you aware of how quickly he was closing in on you?
No, not really, to be honest. It was just doing our thing. We knew it would be hard for him to pass us. This was only 2 laps to go or something when the caution, or when the green flag came out, I should say. So, yeah, we was just taking it easy, really. Try not to bin it or have contact with other cars. But, yeah, we was never going to catch Sam. So we just like I said, taking it easy and come home in second.
Yeah, well, we know how fragile those HPDs can be, and it's been a bit of a race of up and down for you guys, hasn't it? Like we saw earlier today in the restart, you guys having a very unfortunate incident on that restart as the field sort of banked up and you lost your whole front, but after that, it pretty much was all up from there, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. That restart was when we actually got back onto the back of the lead pack. But yeah, we kept one of our fast repairs up our sleeve for something silly like that to happen, and it did happen. And luckily we had it, because we was actually going to use it when we had a bit of contact with another car, but we just done optional repairs in the pit stop instead of using the actual fast repair. The car was fine after the optional repairs, so lucky we didn't use it.
Well, it's always good to have those up your sleeve, isn't it? Because I know a number of teams were struggling with their fast repairs very early on after that highly, I don't know what you'd call it. It was like all you guys had taken some sort of go-go juice for the first couple of hours today. But it left quite a few teams behind the 8 ball as far as fast repairs go.
Yeah, absolutely. Not so much in the HPD. There was a couple of teams, but definitely, I believe, in the DPs and GT3 class, there was actually quite a lot of instance on the first opening laps with them, so they were obviously struggling from the get-go with quick repairs, obviously having to use one already, but yeah, it wasn't too bad for us.
Yeah, well, before we let you go, does Brock have anything you want to add, Brock?
No, it was a pretty good race for us. We had a pretty decent setup from the start. We didn't expect it really to be the track temperature to be so high, but we got quite fortunate. A really stable setup over the whole run, so pretty lucky. Quite fortunate to have the fast repairs, like Josh said. But yeah, pretty good overall.
Yeah, it was a good race. And before we let you go, how about a quick shout out to your sponsors one more time?
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, GT Omega, thanks for their great support. Yeah, anything gear, yeah, you know where to go. GT Omega Australia website. Can't remember the exact address off the top of my head, but
GT Omega ANZ. Google it.
That's the one. And yeah, that's it. Oh, thanks for you guys for doing the broadcast. Countless hours of Scotty putting on the series. It's been great. And yeah, I think that's about it. Well done to all the fast winners.
Looking forward to the final round.
Yeah, and do you know the date of the final round? Because I know it's a 10-hour. I'm just not sure when it's going to be.
15th?
Yeah, that rings a bell. Middle of December sometime.
Fantastic. Not too far away for the final round of AC, and what a way to end it. 10 hours at VIR. That's going to be a tough race, I tell you.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I'll be putting in the stints there that I'll put at the end of this race at Monza. It'll be definitely a lot tougher. And I think lap traffic will play a bigger role as well. It's not that many spots to pass, so it's definitely going to be a game of patience, I think.
Quite narrow as well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what format they run. We covered the skippies, and they were using the infield part as well as the outer part, and that was hairy. So I'm sure you guys will be using the standard VIR layout, but we'll ask Scott that a bit later on when he comes up for an interview.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd imagine we'll be using the full course, but you never know.
Yeah, I'll definitely ask him that when he comes up. But anyway, Josh and Brock, well done, and well done to Gary Hamilton as well. Oh no, that's the other team. Well done, guys. I'm half asleep. It's been such a long day, it's crazy.
Yeah,
thanks RRTV.
Thanks to Bobby for driving as well. I think that's who he was trying to spit out.
Yeah, thanks to Bobby as well. So thanks, guys, and we'll catch you at VIR in 3 weeks' time, I guess.
Will do.
Cheers, Benny.
Don't know about you, Brent, but I'm getting very tired up here. Let's have a look. We've got... we did have our race winner, but he's disappeared.
Yeah, you got Josh and Joe down there from third place DP. You got Jake Burton from 147.
Okay, did you want to interview Joe and Josh, or would you like me to interview them?
Oh, sure, I'll give it a whirl.
Alright, I'll bring them up now.
Hey boys, we got Joe and Josh here. Welcome to the interview room. You guys are very lucky to get third position there, really.
Well, I don't think we had anything go our way that race at all, apart from the TD car dropping out at the end.
Yeah, considering a lot of the cautions definitely caught us out, which I think we lost about 2 laps in total from all the cautions. Just not falling in our hands, so it's a bit unfortunate, but still definitely happy with her, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know how much practice you guys put in over the past few days, with Dylan and Dean to, get a setup organised and the car rolling, so a bit unfortunate that things didn't go your way, but, to salvage a third result, you've got to be happy with that.
Oh, given where we were with an hour to go, we're ranked with third. And yeah, like I said, we put in a lot of effort this week for this race to get a good result, and to walk away with third, it's pretty rewarding considering what we went through during the race.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It was unlucky you guys got caught up on that incident with the restart there with everyone balking. What was your views on that? Could you see what caused it or what happened?
Not really, to be perfectly honest. All I saw was a rough and slam on the brakes, and I didn't really have anywhere to go. But yeah, we got some damage from that. Had to get that repaired. Thankfully, we didn't fall back too far, but we got some straight line damage, so that definitely cost us a lot of time.
So with the setup you guys, Dean, worked on, Josh, throughout the weekend, how did that, transfer over, longer towards the end of the race with the rubbered up track as well?
Considering the track temp was probably rising, the car was continuously feeling faster and faster. Especially with the little aero we were running in the car, our straight line speed was on par, and grip through corners was still really good. So I think the rubbered up track was helping our car for sure because of the low aero, but yeah, definitely helped us a crap ton.
Well, I'm about all out of questions. Bernie, do you have anything else for these two guys?
No, well done, guys. It was quite a trying race out there for a lot of teams, and it sounds like you had your fair share of up and down as well. But yeah, great driving. Coming home third in Class B. And how was that Corvette out there for 8 hours? Did you guys actually enjoy driving it, or what's your thoughts on that car?
So quite a good little car. It's like a lot of power, not a lot of weight, a lot of downforce. So once you get it tuned in, and the car was a rocket today, so that definitely helped out when we weren't getting into all the strife we did. Once you get yourself settled into the rhythm, it's quite a fun car to drive.
Fantastic. Well, thanks once again for popping in. Is there any sponsors you need to give a shout out to tonight?
Since the OPR boys aren't here, we'll give a shout out to TPR Engineering for them, and GTI Brake Springs as well, I believe. Forgive me if I've got that wrong. And to our sponsors as well, Cassetric Rack Corp, Armada Servers.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, thanks for coming up, and we look forward to catching up with you guys again in a couple of weeks when we go to VIR.
Yep, cheers, Bernie. Hopefully we'll be at that one again.
Yeah, cheers, man. Good. Us too.
Okay, folks, we're going to bring up our Class A winner, and that's Jake Burton is representing Dayco 147. He was driving with Sam Sutton. Hi Jake, welcome to RRTV. Before we get into the interview, is any of your co-drivers down there in the green room?
No, unfortunately not, Bernie. It's just me tonight. All a bit tired, I think. It's been a big day for us.
Certainly is, and I'm one guy for statistics, and it's been quite telling tonight. Your car, the 147, who of course won tonight's Class A, you guys did 270 laps tonight. Your car led for 255 laps. The only other cars to lead tonight was your sister car, the 145. It led for 12 laps. And then the Redback Racing team only led for 3 laps today. So congratulations on an absolute domination of Class A today. It was fantastic to watch you guys race that race today.
Yeah, thanks, mate. They're awesome statistics. But yeah, just this week we all sort of came together. It's been a really rough week, to be honest, with us over at Dayco, and we all sort of came together for this race, and Sam put a lot of work into the setup, and we both Dayco Motorsport cars just had exceptional speed this week, and obviously we've been nothing but Monza recently, with obviously the V8 scops there not too long ago, and then a lot of practice for this event. Really just a fantastic performance. by all of the guys. We all kept it consistent and fast, and just stayed out of trouble, which was a big factor. A lot of guys, like I know the Redback car certainly had the speed without a doubt, but just got caught up in a couple of unfortunate incidents, which basically ruined its chance. So for us, it was just a matter of keeping out of trouble and putting in those consistent times, which are so important in endurance racing.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it, isn't it? It's 8 hours of survival out there, and it definitely, you guys showed how to do that. Since you like statistics so much, here's another one. Congratulate Sam Sutton. He took fastest lap tonight day with a 1:38.693. So how's that? I think you've got the trifecta, haven't you?
Yeah, Sam really put in a very fast performance today. His speed recently in general in the HPD as well as the V8 Supercar has been really impressive, and he's got some big things coming next year, so that's awesome for him. But it was certainly a massive team effort today. Like Stenny obviously put the hard yards in as well, ran a 2 or 3 stint run, and obviously had a bit of an incident with a GT3 car which led to a pit lane penalty, but he pushed through, and obviously I had a similar length of stint, so it was really a team effort for us today. And must give a big shout out to the 145 as well, Reese and Corey as our 2 regulars, and Jake Maloney, who stepped in and did a fantastic job with little notice. That was great work by him. They finished 3rd, which consolidated a great result for the championship. So really a great effort by those guys, and I'm really proud of all my teammates for the work they did.
Yeah, it was a really good effort by both cars there, and you both kept out of trouble pretty much for the whole race. You had the pace there, the consistency. But I was saying to the co-commentators earlier, it seems like Dayco really likes those long stints where you guys might come in and do a double or a triple stint, and it seems like once you guys get in the groove, you just start trying to pump those laps out one after the other.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, at the in the Championships opening round at Daytona, I ran a stint in the 147 that was about 4.5 hours long, and that's sort of how the trend stayed, because we feel, you know how it is, Bernie. You get in the car, and the longer you can stay there, the more likely you are to get in a rhythm. If you're chucked in with safety cars and having a pit and change drivers all the time, that's just extra problems. And if you can go out there and drive for 3 hours, although you may fatigue a bit over that 3 hours, you'll get used to the car. You know what the car's going to do, and you can build up your confidence more and more so that you can push it. And you would have noticed that particularly with me and Stenny, at the beginning of the stints we were doing your 140.4, which was sort of subpar in terms of the front running HPDs, but by the end we were me and Stenny were doing 139 zeros, 1s, 2s and 3s, for example, and that was the sort of stuff that managed to get us a lap ahead of the field at one stage. So it's really just about rhythm. So the longer you can stay in the car, the more in check you're going to get, and the more chance you are of not making a mistake.
Yeah, it's a good idea to reduce those variables, especially with driver changes and cold tyres and all that. So once again, congratulations, Dayco Motorsports 1 and 3 today. Another awesome effort. I think you guys did a 1 and 2 last round too, didn't you?
Was last round the 24-hour?
Yeah, it's Spa.
Yeah. We only fielded 1 car, but we did win that one. So but there is a little bit of talk that we could actually field 3 cars in the final round at Virginia, the 145, 146, and 147. So look out for that one. Yeah, it's been a really awesome season by the JFF guys to run the AEC, and massive thanks to you, Bernie, and the Redback Racing TV crew for your work putting it on. And we look forward to our final race at Virginia.
No worries, we'll see you there for the VIR 10 hour in 2 weeks' time. So go off and celebrate now, and once again, congratulations.
Thanks, mate.
Our final interview for tonight is Mick Cracknell from SDC Motorsport, and they won, I think they took out first position in Class B, Brent.
Yeah, SDC took out P1 in Class B.
Yes,
Hey guys, how you going?
Good, Mick. Welcome to RRTV and congratulations, SDC Motorsports winning Class B tonight. You must be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, guys, I'm absolutely stoked about that result. We started from lane and we thought we'll just see how we go, and yeah, it all went pretty good.
Yeah, looking at all that craziness in that first lap in that chicane, it was probably a good move starting from pit lane, I think.
Absolutely. I was talking to Marty about it, and I mean, it was a blessing in disguise for us because a lot of them came in after lap one for repairs and penalties and so forth. So for us, we were able to sort of jump a lot of those guys and work on changing the SSR car.
Yeah, the Class B cars in that first lap incident, they, it split the field 50-50, didn't it? And a lot of them had damage or whatever, and it sort of decimated Class B there in the first corner. And I bet you there's a lot of cranky people out there, but I know your team's not one of them. So really good. It's good to see you guys up there and winning Class B.
Yeah, cheers. No, like I said, we're pretty stoked with the result, and I mean the SSR car I think definitely had pace on us through the course of most of the race, but through getting track position and getting the safety cars fall our way a couple of times, we were able to sort of get breathing space between us and those guys. So from there out, once that sort of second last safety car came out, we were right behind them, pretty much looking to lap them. But I mean, like I said, they had a lot of pace, and we were just happy to bring it home where we did.
Yeah, definitely. The 230, that was leading earlier on, wasn't it? But once you guys got past, it seemed like you didn't look back. And how did you find the track as it rubbered in? Did you find the race came to you more, or was the setup better for you or worse for you?
Myself, I ran a double stint early on, so I'm not really sure how it was later, but both Marty and Ethan were doing really well and putting down some really good times in the second half of that race, so I assume it did rubber up a fair bit, and that probably helped us too. Car was still pretty good when I was in it, but it probably picked up pace a little bit more after that.
Yeah, well, it dropped about 5 degrees over the 8 hours. At the start of the race, you were dealing with 46 degree track temp with no clouds, so it would have been damn hot, and then it dropped down to 41 by the end of the race. So and the track rubbered in, so I'm assuming the track would have been far more pleasant to be driving towards the end of the race if you stayed online. But so what is it with SDC for the next round? Are we expecting to see you guys back at VIR in the Corvette?
Definitely, yeah, we'll be there. Not really sure on the driver lineup yet. It's just going to depend on availability, but I'm not even sure how long that race is, so I don't know if it's a 2 or 3 driver event. But yeah, there'll be at least 2 of us there.
Yeah, it's a minimum 3 drivers over 10 hours, I believe, that one.
10 hours, okay, yeah, we'll definitely have 3 of us there.
Yeah, it's going to be a long one, that one around VIR. And I tell you what, though, if you get 10 hours on VIR, you'll know that track back to front by the end of that day.
Definitely. VIR is a hard track that you get a really good handle on. So I think plenty of practice for all the teams is definitely going to be needed before a 10-hour race, because it is a very technical track.
Yeah, it certainly is. And before we let you go, Mick, I'll just see if Brant has any more questions for you.
No, nothing really for me. Once again, congratulations on knocking Synergy off their, continuous winning streak in Class B. Shows a testament to you guys at SDC, so well done to that. And yeah, I don't have anything else to say, really.
No worries, thanks guys, and also thanks to Scott and JFF and all the guys involved in getting this series going. It's we're really impressed by how it's run, so well done to those guys.
Yeah, no worries. It's an absolutely brilliant series, this, and it's only going to get better next year. But anyway, Mick, I'll let you go. It must be nearly time for the Grand Prix in an hour and a half whenever that race commences.
Yeah, no worries. I'll be tuning into it and relaxing. So yeah, thanks guys. Good race and good broadcast.
So, Brent, we are just about at the end of our broadcast. We're going to bring up our race organiser, and that is Scott Stevens, to get a wrap-up of race control and how he thought that today's racing went.
Sounds like a plan, Bernie.
Hey, Scott, welcome to RRTV's commentary box, and congratulations on yet another fantastic event for the Australian Endurance Championship.
Yeah, good evening, Bernie and Brent. Awesome. Hey, that was wow. what a race.
Oh yeah, that race had everything in it. We had all sorts of controversy throughout the day, and we had fantastic racing and safety cars, and just about everything. We just needed someone to run nude across the track, and I think you would have covered all bases today.
It's funny you mentioned that, because somebody asked for a competition caution, so I said, should we send a streaker out on the track?
There you go. Great minds must think alike.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, mate, just going, with the words that you just said, I was quite surprised that, I guess for outright honours, it came down to a lot of strategy towards the end. And a few scenarios that probably could have gone either way realistically, and probably had some other guys up there actually fighting for the top 3 to 5 positions. So the guys really had to use their thinking caps a lot and actually put a proper strategy and tactics into place. And I think we witnessed the JFF car of the number 4HPD that came in. That was the first of the leaders to actually come in pit at the end, and then that was followed by the 145, I believe it was, Reece Gardner. His entry, they followed, and then the following lap, the lead 147 car, I believe, was came in straight after. So I guess they were kind of covering off that jumping, what the 1-4 did. But hats off to those 3 guys for the podium in Class A. And SDC, marvellous strategic play on the cards, and started from pit lane, but probably got a bit of a lucky call on one of the safety cars, which really put them in a good position when the second one came out to jump some of the other guys in the Class B field. And 3 different teams, 3 different cars on the podium. You probably really couldn't ask for more than that. So yeah, massive congratulations to those guys. And then Class C was a massive battle. Even though a lap down, the roughs of Selby Racing and ANZ going hammer and tongs at each other was just sensational to see. And the roughs kind of had a bit of a dominance at this track because I think their straight line speed, where the Z4s kind of suffered a little bit. So that kind of put them at back a little bit anyway. So, but I believe we had one of the Blackadder teams, I think, came in 3rd off the top of my head for Class C. So
yeah, there was a Blackadder BMW.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So Blackadder BMW coming in 3rd. So again, 3 different teams up on the podium, and I believe that there is still a championship on the line going into the last round. So that's awesome, and it's going to be on for young and old, as they say.
Certainly is, and 10 hours around VIR. If the folks think 8 hours around Monza is pretty exciting, I tip there's going to be even more, I won't say mayhem, but action is a good word at that track. So it's going to be quite interesting. Now, the format we're running there, are we running the traditional longer format without that really tight infield?
Yeah, correct. So we're going to run like the full version, which will be good. And it's actually like quite a technical track to get right. And I think guys are really going to have to play an important role in doing like some pretty serious testing around there, because one section of track is like really fast and flowing, and then the next is kind of like that downhill section, and which could easily lose the rear end in some of the like the HPD or the C7. So I think it's going to be pretty tricky to what kind of setup these guys run.
Yeah, and they've got a pretty quick turnaround, haven't they? I think that race comes up in a fortnight. Is that correct?
Yeah, so 13th of December. So I believe not next weekend. Yeah, so weekend after it'll be. So we'll have 2 hosted practice sessions on the Thursday and Friday, which will be free practice 1 and free practice 2, and then race day on Sunday with warm up and qualifying in the morning.
Fantastic. Well, a lot of these teams are going to have to get straight onto that, I think, because I know the Redback guys that they've been practicing for about 2 to 3 weeks, so they're going to have to get back into it straight up, like all the teams there, and start putting those laps together and getting those cars sorted, I think.
Yeah, that's right. I guess the good thing is we're realistically coming now into the last week of the season in official. So you've got a few series which have finished up, like obviously Premier Series V8s. You'll have Strength of Field Star Skippies on Monday night, Development V8s. There's just things that are coming to an end. So at least that'll give the guys this week and then kind of like the following week to start setting into a fair bit of practice. So that'll be good in there. So it should create some pretty exciting and competitive racing, really.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's going to be great, and it's also good to have a series going very late into the year, because normally December is a very dead month for motorsport in real life anyway. But it's great that we can continue enjoying our motorsport almost up to Christmas, and then no doubt we'll be getting stuck into it again from probably mid to late January.
Yeah, I guess like from the outset, I guess we wanted to run like 8 rounds through the year, and worked in with a couple of other championships of when they were running, and also real life events such as the Formula 1 and the V8 Supercars. So we've tried where we can not to clash with those, even though Formula 1s are on tonight. And then, so I kind of looked at December of finishing up, and we were very close to finishing up, and this would have been the last round. But it's left 12 days before obviously Christmas. I understand that some people might have Christmas parties and stuff like that, but we ran the gauntlet on that, and I think we're going to have a pretty good turnout.
Oh, if it's anything to go by tonight, you had 35 cars here tonight, which was an awesome effort, and you then multiply that by 3. Over 100 drivers here tonight competing, which is fantastic. And it was a real pleasure to broadcast this tonight, Scott. And we're definitely looking forward to coming back in a fortnight, folks, to bring you the 10 hours. So that's going to be great. Yeah, like you said, Bernie, a good number of teams, and obviously that equates to in this race we had minimum 3 drivers. So you do the maths, and we're well over 100 drivers through the field. And you're talking overall, realistically, today's probably worked out to be about roughly a 9 to 10 hour day for most. Plus then obviously, you've got driver interviews and things like that afterwards as well. So, these guys put a lot of time aside, and clearly that shows that the formula and the series that we're running is working, and guys are getting interested. And I think next year, when we move on to bigger and better things, which is in the works, I think we'll see more and more teams and drivers want to come and race. So really looking forward to getting into next year, and actually finishing this year, and then sitting down and actually finalising all the details for next year's series. Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. I'm definitely looking forward to 2016 and everything that brings. And before we let you go, I'll just see if Brant has any further questions or comments for you.
No more questions really. Just want to say congratulations, yet again on another fantastic event. I know, especially with the introduction of the C7, it's rekindled a lot of guys, passion for the Class B, so we can only see that class get more popular next year, and I'm really, really looking forward to see what you guys bring out and crack open for 2016, because it sounds like it's going to be epic.
Yeah, I think it was fantastic that iRacing brought on the C7. I think the Riley DP was pretty much dead in the water and not really going anywhere. We had it in a series, and we had, I think, maybe 2 or 3 teams at the start of the season sign up for it, and then it's just, once the C7's come out, but it's just brought in a whole new interest, and it's really sparked up that division of the racing. So that's really, really good to see. And we've had guys throughout the week message and say, can they run? We really want to run in the, in the C7. So I think next year that's going to be really the one to look out for. And the structure of the series as well there are changes to the structure in terms of the class of cars. So, like I said, that's kind of a bit of a working process and just needs to be finalised, and we're waiting for some answers back from iRacing. And once we have that, we'll be able to release the information, and the teams will be able to get themselves ready and then sign up for next year, and away we'll go.
Yeah, fantastic. And yeah, once you can announce that, definitely let us know so we can announce it on the channel and let our viewers know. But anyway, folks, we're nearly at the end of our broadcast here. Brant, before we go, I don't think I'm even going to attempt to do drive of the day today for which team was the best one. I guess as far as the best presented car goes, I'd be giving that to TD Racing. Their car looked absolutely fantastic today. Did you have a best presented car today, Brant and Scott?
Oh, well, I wasn't actually running with the package, so I can't really comment on that. But as for drive of the day, I'd have to say SDC. Starting from pit lane doing Class B, so that's definitely it for me.
For me, I'm going to have to go out a close second, and very close second. Mike Koroloff and the C7 Corvette Martini Racing OSR job that he did, fantastic skin. But yeah, number one, that TD Racing C7 just looks phenomenal. I don't know how they've done the chromey kind of look over the guards and everything, but yeah, that is top notch. That one, it just looks fantastic.
Yeah, it certainly does. And as far as drive of the day goes, yeah, SDC definitely starting from pit lane, smart move, kept out of trouble there, winning Class B and putting on a great show. But I'd also like to give a shout out to OSR DP. Even though they only had 2 drivers, their third driver couldn't make it due to work issues or something like that. Mike Koroloff, he put in a 5.5 hour stint waiting for his team to show up, and finally Henry King turned up and jumped in that car to bring it home. So big effort by those guys, and it just goes to show the the nature of this great race, that even though they knew they were going to be disqualified, they still stayed out there and still brought that car home. So well done to that team.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I wasn't kind of really aware of that, so hats off to Mike. 5.5 hours behind the wheel is pretty awesome. I reckon I would have needed to have paid twice in that time. So well done to Mike, and well done to Henry as well. So persevering, and hopefully they made it through right to the checkered flag and then got the DQ. I'm not sure how that works. For kind of our race control entry, it gets DQ'd right at the end of the race when the checkered flag falls. So hopefully they were actually able to make it, but then get the DQ. So, but yeah, just want to before we wrap up, give you, Bernie, Adrian, Brandt, and the other guys that came into the commentary booth today. Massive thank you for putting this on and sparing your time on a Sunday to broadcast the series and the race for us. Yeah, just an absolute fantastic effort. So can't thank you guys enough for that. And obviously to all the competitors and the guys that are really passionate about the series and show it even during interviews. I loved hearing that. What happened with the Selby Racing. I can't think of who came on here. It might have been Hayden, I think, but I love the passion, man. It's fantastic, and I have no issues in hearing it. So, yeah, good stuff, and looking forward to VIR in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, there was a lot of passion in that interview, and a lot of viewers had their comments to say as well, which was great. We love the viewers getting involved. As long as they don't start swearing at me, I'm all for viewer interaction. But yeah, very big thanks to Adrian Jarvis, Brant Tucker, and Luke, what was his surname?
Emerton.
Luke Emerton, that's how tired I am, for jumping in today and helping out in the commentary box. So we had a good 4 commentators today, which was absolutely fantastic. Okay, folks, it's time for us to say goodnight. And it's 11 o'clock, half an hour over what I thought it would be to the end of this coverage tonight. But I hope you all enjoyed the live coverage today. It was great to see a lot of viewers here watching the coverage. And if you like your open wheeler action, join us tomorrow night. We'll be bringing you the Monday Night Lights, and that series is really taken off. We've got a lot of European drivers coming into that, and a lot of the top European drivers too. So it's great to see the Australians mixing it with those guys every week, and no doubt it's helping a lot for Australian motorsport. And then, of course, we'll be back in roughly a fortnight to bring you 10 hours at VIR for the final round of the Australian Endurance Championship. So on behalf of Brandt, Luke, Adrian and Scott for putting on the great night, I'm Bernie Weemers, and thanks for watching RRTV.